Hello, everybody, and welcome to Regina and Hollis Crime Chat. There's Hollis, there's Sammy, and we're just waiting on the rest of the ladies to get in here. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Hollis. Blessings, blessings.
How's it going?
Hi, Regina. How's it going?
You know me, every day I wake up, I am blessed. So that is always how it is going. Even on the worst of days, got something to be grateful for. You woke up this morning, right?
Absolutely.
So, how is your day, Hollis?
It's been good. Actually, I spent most of my day with you working on this.
Yeah, I
But
actually knew that, but
but in all truth and honesty, I think it's very important that we did this because, I always play devil's advocate and I don't like to put blame on anybody, but man, what a 360 my brain took within 24 hours after realizing just waiting
what
for
a
some
360.
information, just sort of kind of waiting it out to see. And yeah, I have a lot of questions. And when you
Lots of
got in touch with me
questions.
this morning, you had a ton of questions. And once we started just brainstorming, it just became, we got to do a deep dive. And we did.
Oh, I just lost sound. Hold on just a second. Uh-oh. Hollis, keep talking. I'm having technical difficulties.
Are you having technical difficulties?
I am. I didn't hear Hollis. Was Hollis muted by accident somehow?
Oh, no, I was just saying that this morning you had some questions for me and we were bouncing them back and forth. And it just literally got us on this whole other avenue of questions and concerns. And we started to dig deeper and deeper and try to find what made sense. Who said what? When did they say it? Sammy, what do you
Exactly.
think? Sammy, what do you think?
Oh Lord, I know that mama's lying, and I can't help it. It's just
Yeah.
everybody. It shows. It shows so much. I can't even get into it. There's so much.
So much. Like, there's more questions than answers. But I think the real question that everyone has is who's the biggest liar? Who's the biggest liar is the question we're going to start off with, I think, today. I think that's a good place. What do you ladies think? Y'all think that's a good place to start?
Well, I do. I mean, there's so much to get into all the time with this kind of stuff because we're not experts, but it's pretty obvious the both of them are lying.
Hey, Regina, I just wanted to
Absolutely.
let you know Shar is backstage waiting. I didn't want us to continue without her
Well,
another minute.
finally, did
There
anyone
she
message
is.
Crystal and see if she was going to be making it? Hello, Char. Welcome to the stream, love.
I know that Crystal was busy today, and I know that she said she might be able to pop back in. So,
Okay, we got Char in here twice. We got to remove one of them. We'll add her and remove her.
Oh, she's pretty smart. You better leave both of them on.
ooh.
I already kicked one of you off, Char. Ha ha ha.
You
There
can't
you
pick
go.
Char.
I kicked her. It had to be done. It was a messy job, but someone had to do
By
it.
the way, I just would like to say if anybody's like, I don't know if this is going to affect anybody or else, but evidently my children's school will be closed for the solar eclipse Monday, April 8th.
Wow.
Yeah, I know,
You're
right?
so funny. I'm wearing my solar eclipse shirt today.
Ladies, it's so nice to be here with you.
Oh, it's a blessing to be with you every time we're with you, Char.
Everybody, I had a very bad blood pressure thing today at the doctor's.
Oh no.
Yep.
What happened? Are
It
you
was
okay?
it was 142 over 90. Mine has never been that high. Yeah, I'll be fine. I just need to take better care of myself. That's all. No big deal. a biggie. I wrote to House and told her that I was going to be gone from your chat because I had to go to the doctor's.
Yeah, I did. I got your message.
Yeah. So we're 6 minutes live. Yoo-hoo,
That's it.
yoo-hoo.
We are.
We are. And you were basically there for almost all of it anyway for our discussions today, Shar. So you didn't
I
miss
know.
anything. You really didn't.
I was listening to it when I was waiting for the doctor. It was fun because the people in the waiting room were all very quiet and listening.
Regina, what
Yes,
is true?
darling.
What is true is backstage waiting.
There she is.
Oh,
Well,
dear
it won't let
God.
me grab her.
Wonderful.
That's
Wonderful.
weird. Oh,
I
hold on.
sound,
I know
I
what's going
sounded
on
out the
here.
alarms. I sounded out the alarms,
Yay!
girl.
Sound out the alarms. Call in the cavalry.
I did. I sounded out the alarms.
Okay. Well, Crystal, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Oh, we lost Char. Char ran away. Char ran away. She'll come
She'll
back.
come back.
Char,
I bet it
come
was
back
an
wherever you
accident.
are.
Oh, you know it was. Shar
Of
cracks
course it
me
was.
up. I love that woman.
Yeah, it's about like me exiting out of. Yep, there she is. It's about like me exiting out of Discord every single time I want to share a new screen. Okay, get a little drink
So,
of tea.
Regina, what was crossing your mind when you were putting this together? Because I know there was a lot of questions you went ahead and you typed it out.
Yes, I have the questions. So let me make sure nobody can see any of my personal information. Okay, they can't. I'm going to share. I'm going to share these questions to where everyone can see them as best I can. Okay. And I'm going to share with everyone the questions I had, and then we're going to go over the timeline, or should I say, the alleged timeline, which is pretty fishy in itself. But then I'm going to link the timeline with the probable cause affidavit and the sworn written testimony statements that were given in the incident report whenever Madeline reported her daughter missing to law enforcement at around 8 p.m. the day that she was reported missing, the 26th.
And
So,
Regina, can I just emphasize to anybody and everybody who's watching or who may be enjoying in chat, we are called Regina and Hollis Crime Chat. Please subscribe. It's absolutely free. Hit the like button. But we named it Crime Chat for a reason because we like to talk and bounce things around. So please know that all of these things that might be assumptions, you can take with a grain of salt. And know that we really like to put allegedly a lot behind what we suspect. So with that, I just want to say that a lot of times, we do say alleged. We just want people to know that a lot of our thoughts are allegedly, unless we present it as a fact in a document, so that we
yep.
clear that up from the beginning.
Well, girl, that's why I put it in our disclaimer.
I know, but you know how
I'm
people
just
are.
teasing you, Hollis.
You
I'm
know
just
how people
teasing. I
get. You know how
know.
they'll think
I
like
know.
they think that we're spitting facts. And if it's not in a factual document, you and I know that we don't like people to say that we're spitting that out as a fact.
Exactly.
So it is an alleged.
Unless we show you with documentation or we point it out in their actual statements with the questions whenever we go over the what we're going to go over, then yes, it is allegedly. Our questions are not facts, they are questions. The statements are facts that we're going to be presenting. They are facts. We have factual evidence that those statements were made and that most of them were untrue, to be quite honest. So here's the questions that we have. Was Madeline killed before 7:30 a.m.? Did Stephen stay overnight after the birthday party, or did Jennifer call Stephen to come pick Madeline up for school? Question 3. Was Madeline alive when Jennifer allegedly called Stephan to take Madeline to school? What time did Stephan leave his residence to go pick up Madeline from the Kissimmee apartments to take her to school allegedly? What time did Mom call Stephen to pick up Madeline? Oops. Did Jennifer know if Stephen was abusing slash assaulting Madeline? Did Jennifer blackmail Stephen to dispose of Madeline because she knew about the assaults on Madeline, the abuse of Madeline? Why that morning? And here's a follow-up statement to that question. Why that morning? Why was Madeline's life taken that morning? Well, here's a speculatory statement. Did you know that pregnancy tests are most accurate and are recommended to be done with the first morning's urine? Why? Because your first morning's urine has the highest concentrate of the HCG hormone during the first stages of pregnancy. That's just a question. That's just speculation. But the reason for the speculation is because of pregnancy tests and the first morning urine being the most accurate. That's just speculation. We do not know if pregnancy was involved. Question: who was more afraid of who, Jennifer or Stephen, during the interviews? Because both were lying according to the probable cause affidavit and the sworn verbal and written testimonies in Jennifer's report to LE about Madeline missing. Question: did the mother lie or did Stephen lie? Did Jennifer will Jennifer be charged for contradictory statements given to law enforcement in the probable cause affidavit and sworn statement incident reports to the police? Who did the mother lie to, law enforcement or reporters? Why did the mother reiterate during her interview with reporters that nobody could track Madeline? How did she know Madeline couldn't be tracked? She knew her phone was left behind, but what about her school issued laptop? Statement. Mother, it's really, hard calling this woman a mother after everything she's lied about. I'm sorry. Jennifer also stated we took her to school, then clarified he took her to school. Both Stephan and Jennifer kept saying we. Is this because they possibly rehearsed their story so much? Question mark. Why are no murder charges filed against Stephen Stearns? And the last question, did Jennifer kill her own daughter, Madeline? What do y'all think about those questions?
I
I
like
think
them. I think they're good questions.
I think there are a lot of investigative questions in there that I have not seen answered yet, and I
I
would
think
love
there's
Right.
a
answers to them. And I think you dug through the PCA and kind of
Oh, I didn't just dig into the PCA, honey. I got some stuff for you. I got some stuff for you, gorgeous. Okay. So after we go through the questions, we get into the statements. The first statement: in Mother's interview to reporters as seen on TV, whenever the interviewer asked Jennifer when the last time she saw Madeline was, Jennifer skated around the answer and said something about Madeline. The last time she seen her, Madeline was getting ready for bed. Do y'all remember that in the interview?
I do.
Hollis, do you remember it?
I do because we reviewed it.
We did, and we're going to review it again after all of this. Statement: Stephen was seen on camera throwing her book bag away at 7:35 a.m. So she didn't need her book bag to go to school at 7:35. Why? Well, my only guess is because she doesn't need a book bag for school if she's already deceased. What do y'all think?
True.
That's the only way I can put it together.
Well,
Anybody else on panel? Shar? Oh, Shar didn't make it back. What is true?
oh, there's Char.
Yeah,
There's Char.
hi, you guys.
We're gonna have to nail that door shut. You keep falling out.
That's probably a good idea.
I definitely think there's a lot of good questions yeah, very
Statement.
enlightening. It's very
So
enlightening when you put the
we
statements
know
out there.
from the press conference before the one where they said they had recovered her body. We know that the press conference before that they said they had video of Stephen throwing her book bag away at 7:35 a.m. Can we all agree to that?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we've read.
Okay. Statement. In the PCA, Jennifer stated she called Stephen to come pick up Madeline and to take her to school. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Hold on just a second. I got that pulled up ready to go. We can show you exactly where in the probable cause affidavit Jennifer said that. Okay. And I have that right here. Right. Nope, 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 nope. Hold on, let me got it. That wasn't in the probable cause affidavit. That is in her sworn testimony, isn't it? Yes, it's in her sworn testimony. Hold on just a second. We got that one backwards on the writing it down, Hollis. Whoops. It happens. Uh, no, that was the probable cause affidavit. Hold on a second. It was on. Yes. One second. I'm a little confused here.
I think I
Regina.
still have a whole lot more questions too after you're done with all that.
Regina,
Yes,
I'm not sure which the statement was in, but I think you know which one it was in. It was either the PCA or the Stephan was seen on camera throwing her book bag away at 7:35 a.m.
that is in the press conferences.
Okay, so she doesn't need her book bag at this time because she was already deceased.
Hmm.
And then in the PCA, Jennifer stated she called Stephan to come pick up Madeline and to take her to school.
Actually, what the probable cause affidavit says is the mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephen, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School.
Does she say what time he picked her up? No, she just said he picked her up.
Yep, she just said he picked her up from school. I have that. I'll share that real quick. I have the statement where she said he was picking her up from school. Okay, right here. Right here. The
She
mother
called Stephan.
advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephen Stearns, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. See it?
And in the PCA, it stated Jennifer stated she called Stephan to come pick up Madeline and to take her to school. So that means Stephan was not there. She's saying she called and had Stephan come pick Madeline up to take her
And he
to
said,
school.
and then if you look on that same, what I've got put up now, right under that, where she says, where she advises them, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School. Right below it, it says an interview was conducted. Stephan Stearns, who advised he picked up and dropped her off in front of the church at 8:40 a.m. Okay,
Right?
so keep that in mind. And then we're going to go back to the next statement. What was the next statement, Hollis? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yes, Jennifer stated that she advised that Stephen came to pick Madeline up and take her to school. So
right.
she's saying that, well, Hollis, that sounds like Jennifer is saying that Stephen wasn't even there overnight, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the whole point. I don't think he resided there. They had broken up supposedly 8 months later, but he was really still into Madeline. And if she called him, and that's stated twice, and he was there the night before, I don't know when her birthday was celebrated. I think she said we just celebrated her birthday the night before. That would have been the night before. So I was like, well, did he spend the night? Does he live there? But you found out that he doesn't live there, does he? She owns her own place, basically. And I don't know where
Oh,
he lives. I'm not sure where he lives, but we were wondering, did he stay over there the night of after that little birthday celebration? But we do know that in the PCA, Jennifer stated that she called Stephan to come pick up Madeline and to take her to school.
yes,
That's what she stated.
that's
But
what she stated.
why then, Regina, was there video footage of him dumping her backpack at 7:35 a.m.? She needs that stuff to go to school, right?
Not if she's dead already.
Well, true. And we don't have any knowledge of any video footage showing him arriving at the apartment, so we don't really know. Was he parked in an area that there were no cameras? Did he show up that morning? Did he spend the night? We don't know. All we know is the camera showed him throwing her stuff away at 7:35 a.m. That's what we
Yes.
do know. But her stating that in the PCA, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, here's the whole thing about that. If if at 7:35 Stephen is throwing away Madeline's book bag and laptop because she doesn't need them if she's dead, then that leads us to this question right here. Let me share this question with you. Stephen, wait, I missed it. Hold on. In the PC, okay, we already listed that. Okay. Why then did Jennifer state in her own sworn written testimony to law enforcement, Hollis, that she witnessed Madeline getting dressed at 8 a.m.? Hmm. Would you like to see that? She did. She said she was witnessing Madeline getting dressed at 8 a.m. So that's
Who
a lie. Now I'm fixing to show it to you. Here, it's one of these. Here we go. So if you'll look right here, okay, on February 26, 2023, at approximately 1948 hours, responded. Okay, now if you'll go down, when this is her sworn testimony, this is her written sworn statement, okay? When I arrived on the scene, this is from the cop's perspective. When I arrived on the scene, I spoke with the mother, Jennifer Lisette Soto, who gave me verbal and sworn written testimony. On February 26, 2023, at approximately 800 hours, Jennifer observed missing Madeline Soto getting dressed for school. Huh? What? How? Now, Hollis, just bear with me for a second. How can she witness her daughter getting dressed for school if stepdad is already throwing laptop and book bag away because she doesn't need them anymore for school because she's already dead?
I don't know, but that's what I have written down statement. Jennifer stated in her sworn written statement to law enforcement that
It's
she
right
witnessed
here.
Madeline getting dressed at 8 a.m.
It's right here.
I
It's
know.
right here. In her sworn statement, at
I know.
800 hours, she witnessed Madeline getting dressed. But the cops have video of Stephen throwing her stuff away at when? 7:35 a.m. Okay, but who's lying? The video of her stuff getting thrown away because she doesn't need it because she's already dead, or the mother saying she saw her getting dressed 25 minutes later? What do y'all think? Good question, yeah?
Good
So I have
question.
something to say.
Okay.
You go ahead, Char.
No, go ahead.
No, 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 no. You
Please.
go.
I'm just wondering why it was that the police officer put 2023.
Typo?
Maybe.
Well, unless Madeline went missing in February of 2000, on February 26th of 2023, it's a typo.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. It's just one
It's,
of those things that some people will pick up on and go, hmm.
That's crazy. I never noticed that, but you're right. That's a complete typo. He probably wasn't used to the year change because it was only February.
yep,
That's really crazy because a lot of these typos don't get corrected, and it's kind of you think they would be really
That's a
particular about.
legal document. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
you
legal
think they would
document.
really correct that. Thank you, Shar. You're
You're
the
that
best.
welcome.
really does need corrected. I absolutely agree. Okay, so then we go to the next question, right? She saw her getting dressed at 8 a.m. And then mother stated she was wearing green sweatshirt and black shorts. But other people are stating that Madeline was found wearing blue jeans and a green sweatshirt. Now, is that just speculation or is that a fact?
Well, can I just ask one quick question? Are we at
Yes,
the um we're not at the video part yet, right? Of what she says in her interviews? Because
right,
I
we're
just want
not.
to okay.
But we do have video proof that she said she was wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, white
Right.
Crocs, a book bag. Yeah.
But in that interview, you'll notice
Hmm.
the first thing she says is that she saw her that night. That was the last time she saw her.
Uh huh. That's in the
So
second video.
so that contradicts what she's saying here about the 8 a.m. also. That's another contradiction.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just want to point that out. Sorry.
Absolutely. Yet another contradiction. Exactly.
And then there's another one, but I'll let you get to that. I mean,
Okay. So if Jennifer watched Madeline get dressed at 8 a.m., according to her sworn, written, and verbal testimony, how is it then in her interview statement? Jennifer stated with her interview with WFLA that Madeline got up and got ready for school at 9 a.m. If she saw her getting dressed If she saw Madeline getting dressed at 8 a.m., how in her interview with reporters did she wake Madeline up at 9 a.m. unless Madeline went back to bed after she got dressed, and her mom woke her up again to get ready for school all over again? Huh?
Well, the whole issue was that interview with WFTV exclusive, that was the first interview that the mother made.
Mm-hmm.
And she stated what Madeline wore. It's somewhere in between the 7 and the 8 time marker. And basically, what she stated at the time was that Madeline was wearing a green sweatshirt, white Crocs, and black shorts, along with her backpack.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then she says, in another statement, she says he picked her up and took her to school. Well, she didn't have her backpack. Her backpack was in the dumpster at 7:45 a.m. So how did she see her
Exactly.
wearing a
Uh-huh.
Yes.
backpack? And then the other side note is Madeline was actually found wearing her blue jeans and a green sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Yes,
So
absolutely.
I just want to verify. So that we have her saying she didn't see her. She saw her last the night before. And in the same
Correct.
interview, she says she got up at 9 to get ready for school. And then in her PCA, she said she got up with her and got her dressed at 8. So that's
Yes.
three different contradictions that the mother has spoken twice in one interview.
Yes.
Okay. Just trying to follow along. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I know,
It's a
right? It's
lot.
kind of hard. Trust me.
Like, who's lying the most, Stephen or her? Right? Right?
Right. I, I
Okay.
mean,
So, statement: Stephen Stearns has his own residence, and Jennifer has her own residence. Now, we know if we look at the probable cause affidavit, let me pull it up real quick. What is Stephen's address on his driver's license? Look, do y'all see what his address is not? Oh, I'm not sharing the right screen. Of course you don't know. Sorry, you guys. I'm having a blonde moment one after the other. I was up
It's okay.
late working on this.
I'm more concerned about, I just really wish I knew the correct spelling of
Okay,
the last two letters of his name. What is
Hollis.
on this driver's license? It's killing me.
It's Stephen. It's pronounced Stephan. Like,
Stephan. So it's A-N, and a lot of people are spelling it E-N, but it's actually A-N in the legal documents.
yes, but it's pronounced Stephan, not Stefan.
Gotcha. Stephan. Okay.
Stephan. That's what all his friends and that's what everyone else says. It's Stephan. That's how they pronounce it, but it's spelled Stephan. But it is
And even though they might
it's
have the
pronounced.
wrong date, and even though they might have the wrong year of a crime, do we know for a fact that they would have the correct spelling of his first name?
Well, it's on
It,
his driver's license.
okay, so I get you. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had his driver's license up. I'm sorry. Gotcha. A-N. Finally solved.
Okay. So if you look at his address on his driver's license, yes, do you see the address?
Yeah.
Do you notice what it's not?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
It's not the same address as the apartment Mama was living in, and Mama was the only one on the lease.
And who owned the residence that Mama was living in?
Um,
her parents, her father.
Okay.
and Mother was on the lease. Mother was on the lease, not Stefan. So if Stefan wasn't on the lease, and Mother was under no obligation. Why did she deny the cops coming in and looking for her through her house for any trace of her daughter that she was so concerned to find? Once again, I bring the question to play. Why didn't mom let the cops in the house?
She's
You're
hiding something.
what? You think so? Why
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I've been hearing that a lot today. Absolutely.
Regina, Tattooed Rebel would love to come on panel.
Absolutely. I would love to pull tattooed up. Give me just one second.
I always like a male's insight into these things sometimes. And I find him to have a lot of really insightful, grounded thoughts.
Hey, tattooed. I'm going to DM it to you in your DMs. Let me just send you a message.
I like to say thank you for Tattooed Rebel for stopping by in here. It's always a pleasure to have him around.
Yes, it
I tell
is.
you, I checked out his channel the other night, and I have to say I'm highly impressed, and I really enjoyed it. To tell you the truth, I highly recommend it. I mean, he really touches a lot of really good topics. I think he's a hidden gem.
Well, look who it is.
Look at all these beautiful people up here. How are y'all doing tonight?
Flattery, Rebel, you
Howdy.
already know. You already know flattery will get you everywhere.
Just like
Hey,
with me.
Tattooed Rebel, do
Yes,
me a
ma'am.
favor.
Yes,
Would you
ma'am.
tell everyone what your channel's about that Regina showed up on the other night for? We just give an explanation of your channel.
Which one is it? I've got two. I got four different channels.
Okay, it's the one that I think it's the mental health one.
That's my wife's.
No, this was the one that Regina was on the other night. Regina, what is it? You help me out.
Now, I have one tattooed rebel that does true crimes, and I also have a channel.
Hollis, Hollis, you are confused, my love. That's not Rebel is not the one that does the mental health. Tattooed
Oh,
does true crime and painting. That's all things serious that does true health. That's our
right.
friend all
That's
things
right.
serious.
I got you. Okay, right. And you do the Friday night karaoke.
I do Friday night bonfire, and I do Saturday night concerts. My wife does karaoke.
Now, have you ever heard Regina sing? I just have to ask you that.
No, but I'm
Hollis,
waiting on her to do that.
You have never heard her sing?
You
No,
need to hear her
Hollis,
sing.
you guys,
Okay.
you
Beautiful,
guys,
All
beautiful.
right,
you
we'll
guys
get
are
back on
embarrassing me.
topic. And Tattooed Rebel, you're going to hear something Friday night. Let's go, Regina.
all right.
You will
Can
You
All right.
be
guys.
blown away.
I have something to say?
Yes.
Regina is multi-talented. Multi-talented. She's a
Oh, I
beautiful
know.
soul.
Guys,
I've watched her from a distance for a long time.
Oh, she's very intelligent.
I know
Has a
she is.
lot to offer.
Oh, I know she does. I watched her when she was over on another channel that we won't speak of because
Well,
this is
she
her channel.
paints, Rebel. She paints. She
She's
Oh,
like a
sings.
triple threat over here, man. We've got to put her on a leash.
hey, hey, Hollis, do me a favor. Just look at the the StreamYard chats and give me 1 second. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay, no problem. No, but Tattooed Rebel paints too. I love that picture you painted that you showed us the other day. That was so beautiful.
uh, when Becca gets back tonight, I don't know if y'all be live, but she's gone to Honaker. Her grandmother passed away, so I painted two pictures for her grandmother. One was to go in the coffin with her, and one was to give to the lady, her aunt that took care of her grandmother. And those turned out beautiful. Even though I'm gonna say this myself, they turned out beautiful for her. So I'm very proud of those two pictures. One gets to go with the lady that is one of the reasons my wife is here, and I hope she loves it. I'm thinking she is. She's looking down and saying that's very kind of you and very nice picture. So I do a lot of nice paintings, but like I said, I've only been doing that, if you count straight, 4 months. I've only been painting 4 months.
Wow.
Just
Because
picked
I
it
could
up.
almost see that like on a what am I trying to say? Mass produced sort of as used for tons of stuff, that picture of yours.
Oh, I'm going to start mass producing them, but I gotta, if I mass produce them and they just lay there and gather dust, there's no use in mass producing them.
Well, I tell you what, the one that you did with the angel wings, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, the cross.
Absolutely beautiful.
That's the one that
Beautiful.
just grabbed me like nothing else.
Uh, that one turned out great, but now Becca found something at the store for me, and I added to the wings, and it makes the wings sparkle.
Oh,
Beautiful.
wow, really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Real artists, they never can finish a piece of work, can they?
No.
I I like to paint, but I wouldn't say I'm good at it, but it's so therapeutic. So therapeutic.
Well, see, mine's spray paint. Yeah.
I
I
acrylic
do
paint.
paintings. I do paintings, but for me, it's like a thought and it just goes on and on. And I could carry on with one painting for years, adding to it. And I've got several that they're sitting there. And when I feel inspired or I feel the push to go back to it and add to it, I do. I
I
just
think
love it.
I think we need to share some of our pictures in Discord. So
Listen, I can't paint, I can't sing, I can't do any of that stuff.
you
Listen,
But I
can
Hollis, let
can.
me
try,
tell
girl.
you what, it is very therapeutic whether you think you can do it or not. I made my girlfriend come over one day. She'd been through a whole lot of junk and I had bought stuff so we could do little tiny canvases. And I sat her outside in the back and we just started chilling out and I told her we're going to paint. And she looked at me and laughed at me and said, "I can't paint." Do you know that was 5 years ago and she's still painting today on her own? You got to try it.
well, this
Man,
Sunday,
I think everybody should at least try to be a painter or draw something or be an artist of some kind at least one time. Because the great thing about art is if you make a statue and you fail with it, guess what? You got a great door stopper. If you draw something and it's really ugly, that's okay. You got some paper to start a fire with.
I was gonna say you got good kindling for a winter fireplace.
Right? Right?
let me say this, and then I'll tell you what I was going to say about a paper y'all brought up a few minutes ago.
Okay.
If you mess up on spray paint, you can always color it black and start over. You can
Yes.
start over with a new canvas. And
Yep, that's
and
absolutely right.
and Sunday, if you come over, I'll show you how easy it is, and anybody can do this. I don't care. My son can do this, and he's 13 years old, so I know y'all can. 13 years old, he can paint just as good as I can.
All right. Just for a second, you guys, we're gonna take a brief second. Can you tell us what you're gonna do on your show again tomorrow, Rebel? Just tell us about you're gonna paint tomorrow night.
No, this is Sunday
Sunday.
because
So
I'm
Sunday
off
you are
Sunday.
going to be
I'm going
Sunday
live.
you are going to be giving a lesson to people free on how to do art. Is that correct?
Well, I'm going to paint, and you get to see it, so see how easy it is.
Okay, then. Did y'all hear that?
And if y'all
Y'all got
want
to go sub up to his channel. You're going to miss it, you guys.
And if y'all would like, y'all can order a painting, and I'll do it right in front of you, right then and there.
That would
And
be amazing.
Midwest
Okay.
South, paint by numbers.
So y'all go sub up to Rebel's channel and come over there and hang out with us and learn how to paint something.
All
I'm
right.
going to do it. Y'all should
You,
come join us. It'll be fun.
thank you. And
You're welcome,
I want to
Rebel.
say this right now, Regina. And the only reason I say Regina first is because that's the name of the channel. But everybody here, Regina and including everybody, thank you guys because y'all have me 19 away from 2000. And I've been on here almost 2 years working on this. Y'all have helped me build this. My,
Aw.
my team has helped me build this. Y'all are such amazing people. I love each and every one of you, and I give you the utmost respect and much love to everybody here. I want y'all to know that.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Tattooed Rebel. That means a lot.
Yes,
I,
Can I
thank
I
you.
know I know we spent the last year and a half together behind the scenes, so that means a lot.
It does mean a lot.
Absolutely, it does. Thank you.
Look, to me, y'all ain't behind the scenes, and I don't care. I'll tell everybody that Regina, Hollis, everybody over here, including my team over there, got me where I am today. And if it wasn't for y'all, I'd be just sitting up there talking to myself. Y'all might not want to see that because I might
Aw.
answer myself.
Well, Tattoo, believe it or not, if you had made that StreamYard video on how to use StreamYard, we would not have been live by now. So really, I need to be thanking you. I need to be thanking you because your content that you put out just out of the goodness of your heart is part of what got me live today. So thank you for that, Tattoo.
And I'm also going to teach y'all what little I know about Nightbot so you can run Nightbot.
Oh yeah, Nightbot's my favorite person.
He was mine to begin with, but
Okay.
I got him
I would
over.
like to, I would like, if it's okay with y'all though, for just a second, I would like to read a comment by Kathy. We love Kathy. Hello, Miss Kathy. And I see you, Becca Chew and Kel, and Tracy says, what? Who else we got in here? We got Miss Brazzy up in the house.
We
Low
got the
12,
docket. We got the docket.
the docket.
I've been watching his comments.
Woo!
I'm paying
Y'all know
attention
how I
to the
feel about the
docket.
docket.
Tamara. Hi there.
I know the murder isn't out yet.
I love the docket, you guys. That man gets me excited
No.
about watching court trials. I'm telling you. The
And you
way he
know what?
breaks documents and stuff down and actually explains to you each individual part of it, like he did in the Caitlin Armstrong case with you, Hollis. You remember that?
I do. I loved every minute of
Oh,
it. And I'll tell you
so
what,
if I,
Terry Edwards, I am screenshotting your question just so we can get back to it later on.
which
She has a,
question is it,
she has a really good question, Terry Edwards. I just wanted to know what time did
Hollis?
if she
Oh,
I'm
made any
keeping track.
stop.
I'm keeping track of the question.
okay,
Oh,
Hollis. Did you?
Terry, I would love to talk to you about that, but we'll wait. Yeah.
Where's Terry? Okay, with this question.
No, I have the other one. No, I have her other Fuller one. Don't I screenshotted it, don't worry. She's got my brain working already.
There's the docket. Okay,
I
here we
know.
go.
If she made any stops. Very good question.
Very good question. Okay. Was there something, Rebel, you wanted to point out about the documents real quick before we get back to them? And you can even help us go over them. I would love that.
He says he has the unredacted documents.
Oh, that's the docket. The only thing I want to say is I seen y'all brought up
Docket. Docket. You have the undocumented documented. Man, if I could be a fly in your computer wall. Oh, I would love to see the unedited documents. But you know, got to be careful on these YouTube streets when you post stuff. They'll get you. Got to redact everything. But yes, I know he does.
So
I already knew.
so
I
so
bet the
here's
docket's got every document
I
already.
know he does. So you cannot officially show the unredacted ones on YouTube, is that correct?
That's what I've come to understand about their new terms of service agreement with documents. That's my understanding of it. Everything's got to be redacted.
All right, the docket, you know where to DM me. I'm going to want to look at those and read those over late night tonight. If you don't mind shooting them my way, I would love to read those. You know they're safe with me. Yeah, he's the document wizard. Everyone in our chat knows the docket's a document wizard. The docket guy.
Absolutely.
And for anybody here, if you're not on Twitter, go follow the docket at Chasing Papers 69, right? I know
Hey,
Logan.
Docket.
I know
Hey,
our mod has it. His Twitter at Chasing Papers 89 low 12, who's blue with a wrench, will post the docket's Twitter account. I highly suggest anybody into true crime. There's no way you cannot follow the docket on Twitter. There's absolutely no way. And he also has a YouTube channel and will stream trials. And I've learned so much watching his trials versus, I hate to say it, court TV and law and crime. Sorry, guys. I learned more from the docket. There, I said it.
I'm not going to lie. I've probably learned more from the docket than I have any other channel whenever it comes down to being able to understand court documents themselves and being able to
I
understand
truly agree
the
with you.
the different technologies that they use in forensics and stuff. I mean, he breaks it down so well detailed that it just everything comes together in a picture before it's all said and done. And what I love about the docket is he's so good about breaking down these trials. You guys, he'll say, "Oh, I think she's going to be found guilty," or "Oh, I think this," I think, and he's always, guess what? He's always right.
No, it's not just the basic reporting sound bites that every newscaster has to do. You get a little more in depth
Exactly.
during the breaks between him and
A
Kennedy.
little.
Well, you know what I'm saying. And they discuss in thorough detail, and I just can't pull myself away from the docket during like Monday. Literally, I was like at 8:30. I woke up and I was like, "Oh my gosh, did I miss what time?" I hit the docket, and I think he took Monday off, and I couldn't
Hmm.
find him. And I was like, "Oh, why? Why? I don't
Couldn't get
understand."
you fixed, could you? Couldn't get you
And then
fixed.
today I found him and I was like, I'm there. Yay.
He covered a trial the other day and had a witness on that broke down the internal and external barriers and non-barriers mentally whenever someone is speaking in two languages, how they internalize it as the language they're speaking whenever they are receiving the information. Whatever language they're receiving it in is what they internalize it in and what they respond in. Does that make sense? Whenever that woman was breaking that all down, I was like, man, I need to be an expert in bilingual communications.
Well, the reason it made sense to me is my husband is
Bilingual.
100% Hungarian and he moved to the United States when he was 20. So he grew up, it's horrible. He is Hungarian and he learned English in Brooklyn, New York. So you can imagine what he sounds like, right? But he told me like 3 years ago, one random morning conversation, he said, it's really weird because sometimes I dream in Hungarian language.
Hmm.
Everything that we're speaking is in Hungarian. And he says, and then sometimes I dream in the English language. And it doesn't matter whether I'm with my Hungarian group or with my American group. He says it'll get mixed up. And he's like, it's so weird when it just, and I understood what they were talking about when that expert was on TV about the language. It made sense to me because he had told me,
It made sense to me
yeah,
too.
it made sense.
And I didn't know anything about the barrier of language internally and externally or any of that.
It was
But whenever
fascinating.
that woman was done talking, I understood exactly
Yep.
what she was saying.
Yep. And that's the Michelle Troconis trial. If anybody just wants to go back and like just watch a few snippets or whatever.
Yes. She was a very that was yes. Okay. So
All right,
you
let
guys,
me
we got so
let,
far off. We got
This is when I say U-Haul.
oh,
Moving on.
let me say this right quick, Regina.
okay. Go ahead.
There's 297 people in here, and there's only 32 likes. Now, I did graduate from a GED school. Didn't graduate high school. Got my GED. But that math don't add up, guys. Hit that like for these ladies up here.
Oh.
Come on, show them the love and respect that they need.
Please and thank
Oh.
you.
Yes,
And if it's not too much of a trouble, if y'all would hit that subscribe button, if you're not subscribed already, I would be forever grateful. So grateful.
It's free. It's
It's
free.
free. And it makes the perfect gift for all occasions. Just saying.
look,
Okay.
where you gonna go and grab a show for free 99 and it be this good?
We're not even free 99. We're not even doing a joining thing. It's just hit like, hit subscribe, and enjoy our content. We don't want your money.
But it's free 99, not three. Free.
Oh, I
Free.
get it.
Free.
I thought you said
As in free
3.99. I was like,
bird.
what? That's news to me.
Thank you,
As
Regina.
in as in free bird. You're welcome, Rebel. You caught that, did you?
Yes, I did. All right. Now, what I was going to tell you about the document down here, I seen that you posted or showed a picture a while ago of a piece of paper, and it had February of 23 on it.
Yes, I can pull that up right now again.
All right.
That's what Shar noticed, the mistaken
Uh-huh.
of the date that was written on the document.
Now, the only reason I jumped up to say anything is because down here, I've known them to throw out cases because of mistype or
Oof.
error or something like that.
I do believe it was the PCA. Let me just
Yeah,
zoom
that
out.
was my point. That it could cause a problem later on.
It could cause a mistrial. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but down here, I've known it to happen. I've known it to happen on at least 4 cases.
Wow.
Well, that makes easy pickings for a defense team.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd love Kathy or the docket to throw in what they think about the wrong date.
Absolutely.
Oh, Kathy, so funny. My YouTube boss needs to stop texting me because I want to hear this.
They could
Eric,
probably make
the
a
docket,
correction
stop
on it.
texting Kathy. Can they add a correction?
Okay.
I don't
So
know.
we
Can
need
they
to
add a
stop
correction?
sharing.
Okay.
I know where it's at now.
Typically, on a legal document, when I worked for the state, typically on a legal document, if we caught a typo
Right there.
or had to correct
Right
something, we
there.
could scratch one line through it, put our initials and the date, and that would make it an acceptable change if you added the correct information. But you had to date it, you had to sign it.
Now, that they may
Well,
have tried to do it.
Kathy said earlier that usually they will just leave it if it's just a typo because the process of altering it would create suspicion of the document. Is that correct, Miss Kathy? Miss Beautiful Miss Kathy?
I
That would make
believe
sense.
She says that a correction has to be approved prior to filing, or else a judge needs to sign off on it. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Miss Kathy. That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
the same applies for like speeding tickets also
And
for like for civil cases.
Tamara or Tamara, I think it's Tamara. She says you had to leave what you crossed out so it could be seen.
Yes, like one line through it, and that's
Very,
it.
very fine line through it. So my question is, then, is it worth it, Kathy? That it's not even worth it to just correct that 2023. It's just not worth it. It's too much of a hassle. They just leave it. That's what I'm wondering. We had to be super careful. Kathy says we had to be super careful, especially with dates. Regular words were just a pain in my OCD. LOL. Yeah. So they do have to be careful with specific dates. Good to know. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. He wasn't a very good proofreader, Kill said. Not at all, apparently. Okay, so did anybody else have anything they wanted to add to that, or are y'all ready to move on?
We can move on.
Okay. So the next question I had after listen to me. I've had way too much Monster coffee and not near enough sleep. I've been working on this case all night, picking out everything. Statement. Stephen Stearns has his own residence. Okay, we already showed that with the probable cause affidavit with his address. Okay, statement. According to her own statements, Jennifer was the only one home with Madeline before Stephen came to take her to school. What do you guys think about that? Do you need me to point it out for you, or
Say that again.
okay? According according to her own statements that she gave law enforcement through her interviews and her incident report whenever she reported Madeline missing to police. Okay, right? According to her own statements, Jennifer was the only one home with Madeline before Stephen came to pick her up for school. Because if he was there with them all night, why would he need to leave his place and come pick her up to take her to school? Correct?
Correct. And why would she have to call him to pick her up if he was already there?
Ex- exactly. And then we have the next statement. According to her own statements, no, Hollis, you accidentally pasted that one twice exactly, so I'm reading the same one again. Here we go. No, three times. Three times.
Oops. Oopsies.
Okay, statement. Jennifer stated in her incident report to law enforcement that Stephen took Madeline to school at 8:30 a.m. So I have a question. How can she see Madeline getting dressed at 8:30? I mean at 8 a.m. and then say Stephen took her to school at 8:30 a.m. whenever she also said Madeline got up she got Madeline up for school and told her to get ready at 9 a.m. But she saw Madeline getting dressed for school at 8 a.m.
And then we can't forget the fact that all the other things that happen. Yeah, I mean, she's lying. She's lying. She can't keep her story straight. Um, it doesn't. She's given three contradicting times for just that when she saw her. Just when she saw her, and that's not even including anything else of the contradictions that she spoke of. So it doesn't add up.
So Stephen is throwing book bag away at 7:35 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That is from the police department in their press conference. They stated that they had footage of Stephen throwing something away and they recovered the book bag and the laptop, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, mom says she witnessed Madeline getting dressed for school at 8 a.m. and that she was wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white croc shoes, a JanSport hibiscus flower print book bag that was black and gray, I believe. Correct? That's what she said she saw her wearing when she got dressed at 8:30 a.m., correct?
Right, 8 a.m. Yeah.
Right. So then in Stephen's statement, let me pull this up real quick.
But can I
He
just say
says
something? Okay.
in Stephen's statement, he says he dropped her off at guess what time? We got another time, you guys.
8:45, right?
8:45.
But the
Correct.
police have him on video returning at 8:19 with
Uh-huh.
Madeline in the car, which they think she was
Yes.
deceased.
Yes. Hold on just a second. We're going to pull that up again. Um, there it is. Okay. Let's zoom out a little bit and get straight to his. I later spoke with Stephen Stern, who stated in a verbal and sworn written statement the following. At approximately 8:25 to 8:40 hours, Stephen dropped Madeline off approximately 1 block away from her school. Stephen watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk toward the direction of her school. As Stephen was driving away, he could see what appeared to be Madeline searching through her book bag. He did not think anything of it due to Madeline usually looking through her book bag or her bag to find headphones so she could put them on before going to school. Stephen, however you want to say it, Stephen, began heading home when he attempted to stop for a vape juice at a nearby vape shop, but determined the vape shop was closed. Blah, blah, blah. Once Stephen was home for about an hour, he went back to retrieve a vape juice and then ran errands. Stephen stated he returned home and stayed home at approximately 12:30 p.m.
Right. And
1430 is 12:30 p.m.
we're not forgetting the fact that the police have him on video at 7:35 tossing the backpack with the laptop into the trash can. So she, again, that's a lie in his what he said to the police.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And in his affidavit, the date's wrong as well.
Uh-huh. Even his affidavits, the time don't add up to the other times that they've told police and what
Right.
they've been caught on camera telling the police. Are
Exactly.
y'all are y'all starting to see how the timeline itself is an absolute lie
Yes. I mean,
from both parties? So I have a question. Who's lying the most?
do you want us to answer that?
Yeah, who do y'all think is lying the most? Love you, Rebel.
I think it's the mother. I
You
think
think it's the mother.
I
I do.
agree, mother.
And I personally don't think that she's trying to defend him. I think she's trying to hide something for her own benefit because I think she's guilty of something. Just my opinion, allegedly. But
Right.
I
Well, I
agree
think
with you.
Well, I tell you what, she certainly fooled me until about 2 a.m. last night.
there's
Well,
just,
I didn't want to believe that a mother could do that to her own daughter, so I will say I was in denial, and I
hmm
kind of went with, oh, typical, could be this because of this.
Hollis.
Kind of
But
follows
wait,
what's been happening lately, but man,
Hollis. But wait. There's more. Okay. There's more. Watch this. Check this out, right? So y'all see the timeline in the probable cause affidavit and in their sworn statements, correct? Y'all are seeing all of the different times, right?
Yes.
Have I lined it up for you pretty in a straight line, the timeline now that they're
Nice,
spilling to you?
nice and vertical. Nice and vertical.
Okay. So let's after going over the actual documents and seeing the different times, let's go to the interviews. Would that be okay with y'all? And if we watch the interviews now that we know what they said in the statements, let's go to the interviews now that we know what was in the written documents, what they said. Let's go to the interview and watch it again with everything in mind, okay? Really quick. Um, um, this one. Okay. Let's watch this really quick.
Okay. So the first question is if I can have your last name, and spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER
Mother.
Mother.
Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing.
Hollis.
We had dropped her off to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
Hollis. Regina.
Yes.
Did you catch what she just said?
Okay,
She
hold on a second. Say it. Hold on, let me pause it. Oh my goodness.
That should be it.
Okay, what did she just say?
she says that this contradicts when she says that she woke her up at 9 because she just said she went missing or from 8:45 to 9 is when she got dropped off. That's what she just said. She said she got dropped off at 8:45 to 9. But then you're going to hear
Hmm.
so
Let's play
if
that again. Let's just one more time.
4:45 p.m. But she is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry.
So again, and I want you to pay attention to her just saying that they dropped her off at 8:45. She said we dropped her off at 8:45,
Well, she
right?
basically
Now pay
she
attention.
does say
Pay
she
attention.
says between 8:45 and 9 a.m. is what she says.
yeah, she went
Yes.
missing.
But in her next Yes, but in her next interview, she says she got her up around 9.
Yes, she does.
Uh-huh. So let's just watch this one the rest of the way real quick.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. Um, she wanted to walk the rest of the way. Um, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whatever you feel comfortable sharing, that will put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away around 9 a.m., heading towards the school, but she never made it. Um,
What has the school said? Have you given in contact with the school?
yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. Cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. Um, but they've looked. Um, I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior
Not
to
at all.
just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all. No. Um, she from time to time she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. um, but that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD. Her memory, she's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives now have her phone. Uh, but this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
Um, we spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
Regina,
I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Um,
Yes.
did you notice she just said, "Yeah, that's about it." So she just openly said now that she last saw her when she went to bed the night before. So again, it's another contradiction. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to point it
um,
out.
we spoke
I
about her
agree.
birthday party. She had a
Yep.
birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make
That's
it
why
because
I'm
I was
playing it
working,
again.
but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. Uh, I I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Um, yeah,
13?
she's 13 years old. Yes.
13, Madeline?
Madeline.
Madeline. Um, what are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, um, or just not go to school. Um, I don't know what to think.
Friends, the friends' parents, you've contacted and went through
Everyone.
every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search or look for her as well, and we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. They're
Can I just point something out? Right now, she is actually speaking the truth about people asking her about the flyers and helping out. If you'll notice, this is the only time during the interview where she seems lively and excited to answer questions, period. She almost seems relieved, excitement and relief at the same time, being able to actually answer something truthfully. Watch her whole demeanor change while she is answering this question compared to the rest of the questions. Because she can give an honest statement in this, she perks up. Watch this again.
The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well. And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, gas station, church.
Absolutely,
I
Kathy.
think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain
So much.
to bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at Jane's house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one week and maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check where if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all of her friend's house. I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think? Oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And you said this is not like her.
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions? No. Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We're desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up, and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with. Any app. No weird conversations. Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if like, let's just say, take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
Regina,
Sure. I don't know if she would.
I have
Yes.
a quick question. It's
Okay.
back. It's back about a minute, but when she says that, oh, we haven't had a fight or anything that would lead to this outcome, and that she said that unprovoked. So I just wanted to point that out. You don't have to go back, but she did say that. So I just thought that was a weird statement with when she said the out to get this outcome.
Uh-huh. I
Okay.
agree. She was painting there. She's painting a specific narrative. She is painting the narrative that her daughter was abducted because she knows
Yes.
her daughter is likely going to be located dead because she knows her daughter is dead.
What I noticed was she said that she
In my opinion.
at 4 o'clock she went to pick her up. Um, that means she did not work. She doesn't work nights because if she's there at 4 o'clock to pick her daughter up, she doesn't work the night shift then. That's
We don't know. We don't know about her job. We don't, well, really, we don't have to know her job to know that she said that she got off work and that Stephan brought Madeline home from the birthday party. And she says she watched that Madeline didn't communicate with any of her devices, right?
correct. But how was
Okay.
she couldn't have communicated with any of her devices because they were already in the trash.
No, not that night they weren't. They weren't in the trash that night. They went in the trash the next morning.
Oh, I thought I understood her to say that she had looked at them the day of her death. That she had looked at the,
Yes, she
yeah,
did just say she went through her phone and all of her apps and games.
yep.
Let me explain something to you though. She can't go through all of her apps and all of her games unless she also uses the school laptop that has apps and games that she uses for school activities and stuff on. Correct or incorrect?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. Your email isn't, it might be through a web browser, but it's still,
That's right. It would
you
still
got
be,
your game
yeah,
apps
you'd
through
still have the
Facebook,
same thing.
not Facebook, but through, yeah, your little games, like not through Facebook, but what's it called, that game app that's, hey, Violet. Oh, never mind. She's asleep on the sofa. You're not asleep? Okay, Violet. Do you have apps on your school Chromebook that you can play games and stuff on? What do you have on your Chromebook? What kind of what do you have? What can you log into and stuff on your Chromebook? Your schoolwork and stuff? So you can complete your assignments and stuff? And you have your email, right? And you can check all your school functions and stuff, right? But don't you have educational games that I've watched you play before on there? Yes or no? Violet. But they're there, are they not? Okay, did y'all just hear that?
Yeah, but
Yes.
she's talking about she checked her
All she said, I when we checked
um,
her cell phone and all of her games and
and her
stuff.
social media.
Okay, let's play that again so everybody hears that. Y'all heard what my daughter just said, that there are apps that she can do her email through for the school and stuff. She can do her assignments for school, right?
Correct.
She can
Yes,
play she can play games on her school laptop. Did y'all just hear that?
Yes.
That's what my daughters can do as well. And
Okay.
they're mostly educational games. I will say that.
Oh, goodbye, silly guy. Um, Everyone reacts differently, but I'd be bawling in this interview. Me too. I'm a grandmother of six, three grandsons, three granddaughters. I would also be at the daughter's house. Kindness is free. Okay, so back to where we were. The mother just said that, you guys, where were we? I'm so sorry. I got distracted by a troll I had to get rid of.
26.
I know you were discussing all of the stuff with her checking all of her electronics, like her devices, that
Yes.
she has.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sammy. Okay, now listen to this again after you heard what my daughter just said about what all she does on her school laptop, right? Listen to what the mother says again.
I just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with. Any app. No weird conversations. Nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
So, any way she could have communicated through any app or anything like that? Well, that's impossible for her to check all of that, especially from the most important thing that she would want to check those apps from, her daughter's school, if her daughter was supposed to go to school. And you see what I'm saying here, you guys?
That's what I.
Like, she
Yeah.
didn't obviously check all of her games and everything that was important to know her daughter's activities, because she didn't go through the school laptop. How do we know she didn't go through the school laptop? Because it was in the trash. It was in the trash at 7:35 a.m. Are you seeing it? Do you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
What about y'all in chat? Are y'all seeing it?
I think it's pretty plain, based upon what she's giving for a statement, right? They had no clue until she went to go pick her up from school.
Well,
So
hey,
all of
just
that is a big fat lie because at 7:35 it was all thrown away.
exactly. So, how did she go through all of her daughter's possible sources of communication if that laptop was in the trash? She didn't. She lied. That's
Bullying.
that's a that's a lie.
Yeah.
Would y'all agree?
I strongly agree. She is a liar.
All right, let's continue just a little more.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure.
That's
I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, if someone, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But like, does she know a full address. I don't think she does.
Which would give me the which I mean it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes
So
home with
there's
me.
no need for her to really
Exactly.
learn. Okay. And you said no time? I think that was everything. All right. The first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephan.
Oh, you guys. I don't know if I can watch his interview again. Whew.
We can skip it. We already know he's a liar. I don't want to listen to him, but I will. I feel the same way you do. He's a piece of
I'll
shit.
tell you
Whoops.
what. I'll tell you what. We'll do it like this. This is how we'll decide if we watch Mr. Liar McLiar Pants on Fire again. Put a 1 in chat if you want to see his statements again in this interview, and put a 2 if you don't, please.
Mostly twos right now.
Regina Char stuck backstage again.
She's not backstage. Oh, Char, honey, you got to quit exiting. You've got yourself in here like 4 times
I'm
already,
right
love.
here. I'm right
Oh, there
here.
she is.
Yeah.
Thought she said she had an echo.
She's playing hide and seek.
Char, I've got to kick you out completely, and you've got to come back in on only one account, love, okay? I've got to, it's the only way she's going to come back in and it get fixed. Okay. Can someone message her, please, and tell her to come back in for me?
I don't dare move because that's how I get
I'll
lost in
message
the
her.
abyss.
I'll message her.
2, 2, 2, 2,
Everyone
2.
wants to skip it, I guess, right?
I just feel we know he's guilty.
Yeah.
And he fake cries. It's just vile to watch.
Right. Okay. So we know he's guilty, right?
But guilty of what is
But
the
here,
question.
yeah, aha, Hollis. Bingo. Bingo. What exactly is Stephan guilty of?
Well,
Was, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, without the murder charges, he's already facing the death penalty for what he did to her for the last 2 years. So that's what I'm going with. But I get what you're saying. I mean, we can watch the video. I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, no, I don't want to watch the video if y'all don't want to watch the video again. Everybody
No,
in
I
chat
think
said too, they don't want to watch him again either. Let's just get his
no.
ugly mug off the screen.
And
And you
Char's
know something,
backstage.
when you guys go back and look at these videos anytime on your free time, again, keep this in mind. They supposedly did not know she was missing till school dismissed. Keep that in mind when you start rewatching these things.
Char's backstage.
No, I'm not. I'm right here. I was back. I was backstage after Regina had to reboot me, so I was backstage then. But I'm here now. She brought me back in. Thank you, Regina.
You're very welcome, love. All right, you guys. Hold on just a second. Here it is. Now, we're going to watch the last we're going to watch the last interview of the mother, and then after we watch the interview one more time, all we're going to do is we're going to read the actual probable cause affidavit statements of the mother or of Jennifer and of Stephan, and then we are going to go over the Their sworn testimonies and the probable cause affidavit testimony or the statements. Does that make sense? We're going to go over both of them. Okay. But first, we're going to watch this interview. And I should have it ready. Yes. Well, hold on a second. Let me let the commercial play out. So, yeah. Okay. Second interview. Are y'all ready for this? Keep up with these dates and times and everything that she's saying.
Jen, go ahead and tell us what's going on with Maddie.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school.
Did y'all just hear what she said?
Yes. We.
We. You know what it sounds like whenever people say we, but they're making statements involving another person's actions? It sounds like they've been sitting there going, this is what we did. This is what we did. Like they've been practicing collaborating their stories together. Is that it? And is that just a figment of my imagination, or have y'all? It, hmm.
To me, I feel like it's a Freudian slip almost. I can't say the word exactly, but I don't know. I think they're both complacent.
To me, it seems extremely rehearsed. We did this, we did that, we did that. So it's just ingrained in her to keep saying we.
Right. But why would she be saying we so much? If
Because
she's talking to him, she's not
I
saying
think
we.
she's involved. She's involved in the actual death. That's why she says we. Instead of saying we to bring her to school, she's actually letting it slip. We did this. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
Because I think they're both complacent. I
I
think
do
they
too.
both had something to do with it, but I know where you're going, so I'll wait till you get there.
Okay. Back to the video.
But she never made it.
So many lies.
That walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right. But she never made it. That walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that.
Regina.
What did she just say, y'all guys? Huh? What time did
She's
she say? Write
9
that down.
a.m.
Write that down. But what time was 9 a.m. again? Listen what she said this time.
In the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it. That walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up.
Nope, she's not saying she got up from school. She's saying she got up and walked away from the bench.
Right.
But she didn't get up and walk away from the bench at 9 a.m.
No,
But
because
she's
she was
thinking,
already deceased an hour and a half earlier.
yes, exactly.
And that footage was verified as being grainy and not Madeline at all.
Okay, whenever I finish this storyline up in the end, you guys, you're gonna see something that is completely undeniable in your face, hopefully understandable, easy, that brings all of this together in a conclusion. And it is absolutely amazing, okay? Absolutely amazing. This woman lied about everything.
She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
Oops.
And that was
Um,
the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from like any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media, none of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her. Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before, and she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful. So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have like met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone, and she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages, nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken, because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not tell us, not let us know where she's going or who she's with. Yeah.
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching for her? I mean, what happens now? I mean, especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent. They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like that's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings, and nothing is hers. So I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
As a mom, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back, whatever that means. I just want her back.
All your favorite brands are now at Petco, and at great low prices. Petco, the health and wellness company.
Hey, I love Petco, man.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area, but have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like that?
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she just being, a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family and she had the best day. She was so happy. She showed us all her gifts. She's just a happy girl, and she showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So, she had the best day. I just, there was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans with anyone. I didn't see any of that.
So she's spent the whole Sunday celebrating her 13th birthday. Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday, or that was just like the time you guys were celebrating?
That was the time we were celebrating. Her birthday was on Thursday, the 22nd.
Okay,
She just turned 13.
But that's just so heartbreaking to be celebrating her 13th birthday, and then the very next day, that's
gone.
the last you've seen of her.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go now? Are you gonna go out there and search or look, or what is are you sticking by the phone? Are you what are you doing?
I'm staying at home, staying by the phone, hoping she just appears. I know my entire family is out looking. They've all spread a bunch of flyers. I've had people contact me that they've gone to the international airport to spread flyers, to Amtrak, to Greyhound, just any way that if someone's taken her and they're trying to take her, just to show her face, just to make sure, she's not being taken against her will.
And you mentioned ADHD. Was there anything else maybe mentally going on or that you knew of?
She does suffer from anxiety, and once upon a time she was diagnosed with autism. We had her what's the word?
Brained, maybe?
Reevaluated.
Okay.
We had her reevaluated a few months ago, actually, and they told us no, she didn't have autism, but she did have some autistic traits. She did have ADHD, some autistic traits, but not autism. So I'm not sure where to leave with that, because one doctor said she did and one doctor saying she doesn't, and I don't know. She's just in the middle, I guess, because she does have some tendencies, but socially she's pretty great. So I'm not sure.
And with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
And do you have that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually my sister was the one at location, and they were letting her know what they saw on camera.
Okay.
But they didn't show it to any of us.
Got it. Okay. Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe. I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
Okay. So now that we've actually watched the interviews again, I would like to, if it's okay, read to everyone what the mother said during her sworn, written, and verbal testimony to the police officer she reported her daughter missing to, okay? Okay. I mean, I think it's hi Nana. Good to see you, sweetie. Terry Edwards, Tamara, Midwest, my lovely mods, Sammy G on panel. Carmela Kelly, hello. You guys, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Love you, Nana. Nana's amazing. Okay. So, sorry about that. I got a little distracted. You guys giving everybody a little shout out, sharing some love. Okay. Let's go over now again, real quick. Let's go over what her sworn testimony to the police officer was in her written sworn statement. Okay. Make it big enough so y'all might be able to see it. Okay. Is that big enough? Can y'all see that pretty good?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Oops. On February 26th, and of course we know that's a typo of 2023. It's supposed to be 2024, but we don't know if that's going to get fixed or not. So we'll save that for a later discussion. At approximately 1948 hours, so that's going to be you got to go back to. So that's going to be 7:48 p.m. I, Deputy Joseph, and he gives his ID number 10644, responded to, and then it's edited, Park Village Drive, Orlando, Orange County, Florida, regarding a missing juvenile. While on scene, the step parent stated he dropped his daughter off at school, and when the mother went to the school, the daughter was not there. The parents searched within the neighborhood and places where the daughter may have gone. The parents could not provide a location where the daughter may have been, but yielded negative results when deputies checked the area. The deputies could provide, a location where the daughter may have been, but yielded negative results when the deputies checked the area. The juvenile, whoops, The juvenile was entered into FCIC/NCIC and EMER or EME resource as missing disabled. So she was put into the system as a missing disabled child. Okay. And then he says, my investigation revealed the following. When I arrived on the scene, I spoke with the mother, Jennifer Lisette Soto, who gave me verbal and sworn written testimony. On February 26th, and there's that 2023 again, at approximately 0800 hours, Jennifer observed missing Madeline Soto getting dressed for school. What time? 8 a.m. She said she saw her daughter getting ready for school, but Stephen threw the backpack in the trash at 7:30. That's a fact. That's on camera. So we know that Jennifer's statement right here is a blatant lie.
Right, because also on camera it shows that um, she says in her own words she saw her the night before.
Yes.
It never mentions anything during the interview of that time of 8 o'clock.
Nope, not at all. Okay. Observed missing Madeline Soto getting dressed for school. Stepfather Stephen Stearns took Madeline to school, dropping her off near the intersection of Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane at approximately 8:30 hours. Jennifer went to Hunters Creek Middle School in an attempt to pick Madeline up at approximately 1600 hours. When she discovered Madeline did not make it to school in an effort to find Madeline, Jennifer looked through the neighborhood near Madeline's school and went to her mother's business office at and then Yada Village Park Drive. I spoke with Stephen Stern, who stated in a verbal and sworn written statement the following. At approximately 8:25 to 8:40, Stephen dropped Madeline off approximately 1 block away from her school. Stephen watched Madeline leave his vehicle and walk toward the direction of her school. As Stephen was driving away, he could see what appeared to be Madeline searching through her book bag. He did not think anything of it due to Madeline usually looking through her book bag to find headphones so she could put them in before going to school. Stephen began heading home when he attempted to stop for a vape juice at a nearby vape shop, but determined it was closed. So Stephan went back home to Kissimmee. Once Stephan was home for about an hour, he went back out to retrieve a vape juice and then run errands. Stephan stated he returned home and stayed at his residence or at his home and at he returned home at approximately 14:30 hours. Okay. So there's those statements. Now after we've seen those statements, now we got to go back to the probable cause affidavit. And we're not going to read the unbearable parts, you guys. We're not going to read the nasty stuff. We're just going to go over the timeline part. Okay. So here is the first warrant. That's the warrant issuing page. And then we've got all of the digitally appears the affidavit, the charges, and then it has your affiant, Detective Brian Moore, excuse me, you guys. Detective Brian Moore, ID 804, is sworn law enforcement officer employed by the Kissimmee Police Department and has been employed by said agency since the 4th to 9th of 2018. Your affiant currently investigates crime in the city of Kissimmee, Florida. Your affiant, in the course of his or her official duties, has come to investigate. On February 26, 2024, at approximately 2000 hours, Madeline, of course, was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephen Stearns, picked her up from a home and dropped her off at Hunters Creek Middle School, 13400 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida, on February 26, 2024. The mother then went to pick up Madeline from school at dismissal and learned Madeline never showed to school. An interview was conducted with Stephen Stearns, who advised he picked Madeline up and dropped her off in front of Peace United Methodist Preschool, 13502 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida, which was down the street from the school at 8:40 in the morning. Hunters Creek Middle School begins class at 9:30. A license plate reader captured Stephen's vehicle with Florida tag IYLL82 driving Madeline during the driving. It doesn't. Okay, whatever. Edited. During the interview with Stephan, he provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated he accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone February 26, 2024, the same day Madeline went missing. Okay, so let me explain this. Y'all just read with us in the mother's sworn statement. She said she witnessed her daughter getting ready for school at 8 a.m., actually seen her getting dressed. That is in her sworn statement. 8 a.m., she witnessed her daughter getting dressed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But Stephen was throwing Madeline's backpack and stuff away at 7:30 a.m., correct? 7:35 a.m., correct?
Yes.
Stephen was seen leaving in the vehicle with Madeline in the vehicle at 8:19, correct?
Leaving where? I thought he returned to the house at
Yeah,
8:19.
returning to the apartment. Was it leaving or returning to the apartment at 8:19?
Returning.
Okay, returning. That's right. That's right. Returning to the apartment at 8:19, according to the press conference, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing. In mom's statements about the night before, she said that they had opened up their gifts and everything, yada, 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 right? But the next morning, mom says, Stephen, she, I don't know, maybe miraculously somehow got a hold of Stephen and told him to come pick up Madeline and take her to school. Or let's just go with the fact that we know Stephen left his home and drove to the apartment where where Madeline and Jennifer lived, right?
Yes.
Okay. So was Madeline dead already or alive already whenever Stephen went to Jennifer Soto's apartment to pick up Madeline for school? Because I don't know who's lying more, Stephen or mom. Now we got Madeline's book bag being thrown away. Basically, what time? We don't know what time Stephen left his apartment, but what we do know is that he was throwing her belongings away at 7:35 in the morning. Yet the mother is saying Madeline was getting dressed for school at 8 a.m. But what the mother is also saying that nobody realizes is if Stephen had to leave his house to come get Madeline for school, that means he didn't sleep at her house that night. So what the mother is also saying that no one's picking up on is the mother was the one that was alone with Madeline after Stephen left, from the time Stephen left after the birthday party or whatever until mom was witnessing Madeline supposedly getting ready for school. Mother is admitting to seeing Madeline alive that morning. Mother is telling you that she saw Madeline getting dressed, that she saw her alive at 8 o'clock in the morning, but that is literally impossible because the book bag was being thrown away at 7:35.
And I would like to believe that they have him on video moving her body before then, because he would have done it under the. I mean, if I was a criminal, I'd do it under darkness. I wouldn't go out at broad daylight. But he did throw the backpack away at 7:35. So
So I asked a question on Miss Brittany, allegedly with Brittany. Shout out to Brittany. Y'all can post her link if y'all want. That would be so kind of you. But what I was gonna say is I was getting distracted. I'm sorry. What I was gonna say is I posed a question the other night on Miss Brittany, and then Miss Brittany put it in another way last night on her stream that I'm gonna say on my stream and share. I said, where has anyone seen these cops in any way say that this man killed her? Have y'all seen these cops say that in any of their press releases or anything that's been filed against this man?
No.
Right? You're hearing all about what he did to her and abused her, but we're not hearing them say Stephen killed her. Where can anyone show me where the cops have said Stephen is the prime suspect in her murder? I can show you plenty of places where it says Stephan, however you pronounce it, is the prime suspect in her disappearance. But not once in any records can I find anywhere where they said he was the prime suspect in her murder. There is no arrest warrant for murder. They searched mom's apartment with a search warrant because mom denied them entry into the apartment. She denied them entry into the apartment. So, what would be her motive for denying entry in the apartment, you guys? I don't get it.
She's complacent. She's part of it. And she could have possibly threatened him and said, I know what you've been doing. And somehow, some way, Madeline died. And she told him, you're going to take care of this. This is your mess. You clean it up. You caused this.
Well, here's the whole thing. The mother has basically said in all of her statements that she was apparently the only one home with Madeline until at least we know when Stephen was throwing the book bag away at 7:30 a.m. So what time did Stephen leave his apartment to go over and pick Madeline up to take her to school, allegedly?
I don't think we've been given that answer. Again, I think it's because he went over there. He had to have moved her body at some
Correct.
point to the car, and it was done before he left to bring her to school, because when she came back her body was already, she was already in the car. So I think they have the video of him bringing her
Right.
to
Well,
the car.
let me explain it to you in a little easier way. The mother saying she was watching Madeline get dressed at 8 o'clock in the morning puts her in that apartment and awake at 7:35 whenever Stephen was throwing Madeline's backpack away because she was already dead. Does that make it simple enough?
Yes, I agree with you. Allegedly, that's a possibility.
No, that's what the documents say. That's what the documents say. That's in the mother's sworn statements. She says she was watching Madeline get dressed at 8 a.m. That is the mother's sworn statement. But we know for a fact that her book bag was being thrown away at 7:35,
In
which
fact,
means
her mother expressly says what she was wearing and that she had her backpack with her.
so listen to what I'm telling you again. That is putting the mother awake at 8 a.m. The mother was awake at 8 a.m. and he was throwing her book bag away at 7:35 a.m. But supposedly that is the mother telling you that she was awake whenever Madeline was supposed to be getting ready for school. And she is saying that she's seen Madeline alive, you guys. The mother is saying, I seen Madeline alive at 8 o'clock in the morning. She is putting herself in that apartment with her dead daughter.
Correct. I
Awake
understand that.
in the apartment with her dead daughter. Do y'all agree?
I do agree with you 100%.
Yes.
I see what you're saying. I was just trying to.
So if the mother is lying or telling the truth about her timeline, she's admitting to being awake that morning whenever Madeline was supposed to be getting ready for school, but her daughter was dead. She knew Madeline was dead that morning. There's no ands, ifs, or buts around it. With her own statement, she's saying she was awake that morning and she saw Madeline with her own two eyes at 8 o'clock in the morning. But we know that's a lie because Madeline had to have been dead by at least 7:35 whenever he was throwing her book bag away. Because the only reason he was throwing her book bag away is because she was no longer alive and no longer needed it anymore.
And at Tamara, we do not know what time the car drove off before 8:19 a.m. I don't know if maybe where he parked, it was out of view of a
It's in the
camera.
press conference. It's in the press conference
Is it?
where they talk about what time the car was seen on camera.
No, but I mean, she's asking, does it tell what time the car drove off before 8:19? Like, was it there? Did it show up? Did it show up before 8:19 and all that? I don't know. We don't know what they have as far as all we know is we were told at 8:19 he returned back to that apartment and it's on camera footage. As far as the public goes.
So I got a question. Now that we know that mother was awake with daughter's dead body in the house, did she call Stephen because she knew about the abuse and threatened him to tell on him to help get rid of the evidence, so to speak? Is that a possibility? Because I'm thinking now that the reason mom called Stephen out of the blue to come help was because Madeline was already deceased.
And I can't justify why somebody like Stephan Stearns would get rid of something that he had on a silver platter right in front of his face every day. But
Uh-huh.
mom, on the other hand, who allegedly was told about the abuse and denied to her own daughter that it was happening, I've read up enough cases of those kind of moms. They get really jealous really quickly. And if he broke up with the mother 8 months ago, but kept up with the quote unquote stepdaughter, even though he was the ex boyfriend and referred to it as his
Uh-huh.
stepdaughter, there's way too many red flags. And as a jealous, dumped mother, she probably had a lot of issues with her young 13-year-old daughter. And in a competitive way. And I don't think he was controlling them at all.
No, absolutely not. I think the mother
No,
was completely running the show now.
no. I think the mother either, well, you know what? There's several things that could have happened that morning that sent the mother off. But regardless, I think she called him over and I think she said, look, this is your fault. You created this problem. So here's the deal. I know what you were doing with my daughter. So you better fix this for me right now. Get rid of her backpack. Get rid of the book bag. Come back. Go deal with her. Take her somewhere else. Get rid of her. And I think during that interview, his immaturity of playing that little electronic game of feeding his birds
Mm-hmm.
and all of that was so immature. His background history, all of that. Young women, we've been through it. We've seen it. We know what we've seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she pretty much lost her handle that morning and made him come over to pick her up for school, and from there on it's a done deal. And that is why he is more nervous about what she's saying. He does not want her. He wants to make sure that she doesn't mess up whatever stories she's saying. I think he is nervous when she's being interviewed. I don't think it's the other way around.
I concur, actually. I concur.
I do also.
And that is why I really think, and I really want to stress somehow, if there's anything good that can come out of this, what I have been seeing over the past decade, the mantra of if you are experiencing SA in your family, tell a friend or a family member or a mandatory reporter. I say skip the friend, skip the parent. Friends don't feel comfortable telling their parents. You tell a parent in your family, well, it didn't do Madeline much good telling her mother that her boyfriend was doing what he was doing to her, did it? It ended up with her dead. You tell an uncle that, let me tell you, I think when SA is occurring in a family, the rule should be go directly to one and only single source that you know is going to work. Any single mandatory reporter. You take the third party into the system and leave everybody else out of it and let them deal with it the correct way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, ladies, was there anything that y'all noticed that y'all wanted to point out in particular, or anything in the probable cause affidavit, or anything else y'all pointed out that y'all would like to point out in the timelines that you figured out was untrue?
Not about that, but I would like it if possibly Hollis could explain to those who may not know what a mandatory reporter is, who they are, and how they can be reached.
The ones off the cuff that I could probably just go off the cuff and mention would be your school principal, a teacher, the school nurse, a school counselor, a police officer, a fireman, maybe your pediatrician.
Yep. Your doctor, your nurse.
Yes. I mean, if I could really quickly Google up a whole search and read it off, I would, but I would think that any child who is experiencing sexual assault in her home, by going to school, you have teachers, counselors, principals, school nurses. I mean, there's at least 4 right there you can report to. And they have to take it to law enforcement and they have to act on it. Well, kind of. We saw how it worked in Audrey Cunningham's case.
Okay, Tamara, we don't know exactly what time Audrey Cunningham got off work. I'm sorry, Jennifer Cunningham. Well, Lord have mercy. I'm saying Audrey Cunningham. I've been looking at some stuff in that case too with the father, and there's, oof, boy, that's deep. Um, we don't know what time Madeline Soto's mother got off work. We don't know what time Jennifer got off work, but what we do know is that by the time Madeline's birthday party was over, Jennifer was already home because she said that they got home from the party. This is her statement. They got home from the party, and then she showed us her gifts and stuff. Did she not, Hollis, in her own interview with, I believe it's is it the second one or the first one? Is the one with Fox, or is it the one with
Was it the
W?
second one? Because that would have been the Fox 35 one.
Yeah, I do believe it is the Fox 35 Orlando.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would have been the
Yes.
second interview.
So we know that mom was there with daughter overnight after the birthday party.
Correct. Because she even said that in her statements.
And in their sworn testimonies, both of them say that Stephan had to leave his place to pick Madeline up from school from the apartment, which means that they're both saying Stephan didn't stay the night there.
That's right. Because they had broken up 8 months ago, and Stephan had his own place, and
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Soto had her own place. And she said she called him to come pick her up for school. So, I mean, if he spent the night over there, why would she be calling him?
Mm-hmm.
She called him specifically for him to come over and to pick her up from school. And if
Mm-hmm.
she didn't have to be at school until 9:30, because that's when the bell rang, 9:30 was you're tardy by 9:30. Why is he picking her up way before?
I
I
mean,
mean,
that would put him dropping her off 50 minutes early for school if he dropped her off whenever he said he did
why
at
is
the
he over there
latest
so
8:40.
early in the morning ditching her backpack away in the dumpster at 7:45 a.m. if she doesn't,
She's
like you said, she doesn't even have to be at school for another whole hour and 45 minutes.
uh-huh. But
What's with that? Explain that away.
but if he dropped her off for school, wouldn't you think he would have given her her book bag and laptop because she would have needed those things for school before he dropped her off instead of putting them in the dumpster?
Well, yeah, but his mom said that she had her backpack with her. Don't you remember when she left for school? She saw her. She said,
Absolutely.
"Bingo." I think everyone is basically nailing the wrong person on the cross on this one.
Oh no, I absolutely think that Stefan needs nailed to the cross for what he did.
Oh no, but I think as far as who took Madeline's life, I think they may have this all wrong. I think everyone jumped to an assumption. Just because, I mean, not to say that just because I do not mean to, lower that on any level, but he was charged with the things that he was charged with, the foul stuff on his phone.
I would just like to read Kim Chi's statement because you guys, I've been seeing this so much in these conversations about Jennifer Soto, um, and how she might view uh, Madeline. Kim Chi said, I see red. My friend's mom accused her of flirting with her 30-year-old uncle when she was 13. She told on him, and her mom took the ped's side. Grr.
Exactly. I was talking to my neighbor up the street about this case this morning, and she said, "You know what? That happened to me, and I went and told my uncle, and he told the whole family, and no one believed me, and now I'm the black sheep." So I don't believe that anybody should tell any. I don't think you can trust a grandmother, a grandfather, an uncle, a brother. I say go skip it. We all learned old school. Tell a friend or a family member. That was back when don't do drugs. Times have changed. I think now it needs to be enforced. Go straight to a mandatory reporter. I find that these kids are in more danger if they tell a friend or a family member. It doesn't get reported or they end up 6 feet under.
Absolutely. Because just like Hollis said, sometimes families don't want to let family secrets get out in the public. And sometimes, sadly, people can take the wrong side of the situation.
Can
If
I
you
can
are,
I say something here?
if let, can I finish this real quick though, real quick, and then yes, if you are being abused, by all means, tell your parents. Tell them. If your parents do not help you, then tell a teacher, tell a counselor, tell a police officer, tell a nurse, tell a doctor, tell a social worker, tell anyone you can that will listen to you outside of your household in an environment with what are they called? Mandated reporters. And those are going to be your counselors, your teachers, um, anybody that will listen, anybody that will listen. If you're in danger, say you go to a store and you're in danger and you're being abused, go tell the cashier. Tell anyone if you're in danger and need help that you can tell. Because if the first person doesn't listen to you, don't give up hope. Keep telling. Someone is going to listen. If the first person doesn't, go to the next. If your first teacher doesn't listen, go to the next. If your doctor doesn't listen, go to a police officer. If a police officer doesn't listen, call DHS yourself. There are ways to get help if you are being abused. Don't let one person not believing in you keep you from getting the help that you need. Please don't let your life be lost because one person that you trusted let you down. All right, Sammy, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out there.
Well, I wanted to say something. I'm going to post a link in the chat because chances are we're not reaching children right now. We're speaking to adults. And the link I'm posting, I want for everyone to check it out because this may help teach you how to help a child. No matter what, no matter what, it will help to encourage you to be able to help that child get the help they need without you really getting too deeply involved. This will give you guidelines in even online courses on how to become a mandated reporter and then how to help these children get the information out to the right person when they need it at the right time. Because if a child is saying something, that's an emergency. That's an absolute emergency. I don't care how harmless something may seem. If you try and tell someone else that that child has told you this to try to find out anything, you're going to be probably you're going to be turning that child's world upside down to begin with. That poor kid's asking for help. Here's a link that I'm going to post again. I want everyone to consider learning how to help these children.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank
Yes.
you so much for doing that because that's something very important.
And let's give all our teachers and our mandated reporters a round of applause because they are there for the children whenever nobody else is. And they got to hear some pretty hard stuff sometimes. And they got to go through some heartbreaking stuff with the children that they become attached to and care about as their own while they're teaching them. And that's not easy, you guys, being a teacher. So shout out to the teachers and all of the mandated reporters that put themselves in that position to be the voice for those children who would otherwise be silenced. Bravo to you. Okay, and I'm looking for that link. Okay, I'm getting to it. This one, Sammy, is this the link?
I'm going to post it one more time. I'll post it as many times as you want me to, but there it is. It says stopchildexploitation.org.
Yes, I have it up on the screen. That's the one I thought. I thought I was posting the right one. I just wanted to make sure again.
I don't see it on the screen. So
Was Jen asleep? Okay, Kimchi. According to Jen's own statements, she witnessed her daughter getting dressed at 8 o'clock that morning. So that makes Jennifer, by her own statements, wide awake during the time that her daughter's body, that Madeline's body, was in the house
Well,
or being put in the car.
yeah, I mean, at 8:19, she was seen deceased in the vehicle of Stephan. So
But
did she say she left? Yeah, her timeline's not matching up, and I don't think she's covering for somebody.
nope, I think she's trying to cover for herself.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
don't think she's scared of Stephen. I don't think she's scared of Stephen. I think Stephan
And
was
you
terrified of that woman
and
because
every
she had all the goods on him about what he had done. She
and
knew Madeline
every
was being
single
abused, in
one
my
of you
opinion.
panel members know, as of yesterday, probably midnight, I was 100% backing this mother that she had nothing to do with this until midnight last night. And I've done a full 360 based on what everything we have gone through today.
Now, Hollis, um, the last time we had this chat about Madeline's case, I told you all of these red flags and told you what I thought, right? I told you that I believed that it was possible that the mother was actually the one that killed her. She put herself in the house during the time of the homicide and all of that, right?
You did.
Okay. Now, I told you I thought that because her timeline didn't match up because she was lying, did I not?
You did.
Okay. And then can you do me a favor? In the private chat room, can you post the link to that news article that dropped last night that shook your world up? Even though you argued with me the day before yesterday.
Well, it depends on which news article you're talking about, because we have quite a few.
You know which one I'm talking about, Hollis. The one that changed your mind.
Well, okay. I'll be scrolling for days, Regina. Why don't you just say it?
Okay, let me just get it real quick. Oh, I'm on the wrong chat. Hold on just a second,
Because we
love.
have so many cases we're working on, it's all jumbled up.
Oh my goodness, we've got a gazillion things going on. That is definitely the truth. Okay, hold on just a second. Oh, I wish we could oh my goodness, where is it? Bear with me just a moment because now I'm doing the scrolling. Oh my goodness.
You'll find it.
Give me just a second. Okay, here we go. I found it. One moment. I'm going to stream this with all of you. Oh, honey, I can't eat that pizza. I'm live. Okay, my sweet husband tried to give me some pizza. Let's watch the news article. We're not the only ones that caught all the discrepancies, you guys. Hollis, I do believe this is the one you told me changed your mind completely whenever it dropped last night. That you jumped on my bandwagon.
Why prosecutors are now calling for an investigation into this local sheriff, and how the story Madeline's mother provided law enforcement doesn't line up with what investigators know.
We spoke one-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for one day. She told us that Stephan Stearns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before. But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio. And Shannon, that's not the only thing you noticed in this new report.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto's death, but we do know investigators are looking into who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time, and that Stephan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephan Stearns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detectives believe Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because a video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Stearns. At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Stearns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Stearns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away. That same book bag was found actually in the dumpster. After her death, he then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece together. Thank you. We also spoke to suspect Stephan Stearns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Stearns never drove Madeline to school and that she was already dead that morning.
Greg, also breaking this afternoon, the state attorney's office says it's asking the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to investigate how and why a photo that appeared to be a body in the woods was posted to the Osceola County Sheriff's personal Instagram page. The photo was posted less than 24 hours after investigators found.
Oh no, Hollis. You know what I just realized? You remember I told you that everyone was saying that the photo that actually leaked wasn't a body? So I told you, well, then maybe the one I saw was a fake, but I told you I saw one of an actual body that was leaked of a person in the woods that I told you looked like Maddie was what I clicked on that was on TikTok that I seen. You remember that?
Yeah.
Apparently that was the real picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Shame on people. Shame on
Disgusting.
people.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting. I clicked on this link that said Madeline Soto breaking news updates. I click on it. It's a TikTok link, right? I click on it, and the first thing I see is a photo that I can't unsee. I believe I was talking to you when it happened, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
I think you and I were talking too at that
We were
time.
all,
Yeah.
yeah, we were all kind of in a group talking when that happened.
You guys, that caught me so off guard. I had to leave my computer for a while. It was awful.
But once
So
again, we don't know, People
I
put
tell you
anything
what,
out there. People will put anything out there for a view. Let's get
right,
real, you know.
right.
But
Well, obviously,
it's not something that I want to see.
that's terrible, though. How could you be so careless with such information that you've been entrusted with pertaining to a child and their death? And you're in charge of being decent for that person and helping that person as a victim, and you're so careless you post their pictures of their crime scene, of their where they were found, to social media. How does that happen? Like, how does that happen? That's terrible.
Well, from what I heard, there were some of them taking selfies. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. You know how it goes. I just don't want to believe that any of it's true unless I see it factually. Not that I'm
Exactly.
putting blinders on, but I take everything with a grain of salt that I see on social media. You know how we're fact-based driven.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the reason I wanted to show the actual discrepancies in the timeline are fact. They are not a myth. The mother lied. Also, it's not a myth that they had to get a search warrant to search her house because she wouldn't let them in. Also, it's not a myth that mom, or excuse me, Jennifer, has changed her her Facebook account to Sailor Coda.
Yeah. I don't think that would be on my priority list of things to do if I had just lost my daughter. She
Right?
seems very Casey Anthony-ish to me. She's
Yeah,
giving me Casey Anthony red flags. And I think she's got a lot of people fooled out there. A lot of people.
I completely agree. I think she does too. I think that she manipulated him. I think Madeline was allegedly already deceased whenever he showed up to quote unquote take her to school.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think she'd already flown off the handle with her daughter.
Well, we know from people defending her that were family members on Facebook allegedly, mother has already had mental health problems and on medication, right?
We don't have receipts for that, do we?
It's on Facebook. It's actually there. I've seen the post, but it is hearsay, but it has been alleged. It has been alleged that mom had issues with depression and other things.
And it's alleged that on Facebook that he had broken up with her 8 months before, but kept his relationship with Madeline going as the quote
Mhm.
unquote stepfather. Even though he said he was the ex boyfriend, he still considered it his stepdaughter.
Mhm.
And we know what was found on his phone, so it wasn't like it was 8 months old.
So until everything came together for you last night, Hollis, what did you think? What was your full opinion of the case before last night?
Before last night, I really thought that Stephan, based on what was found and what he was arrested for, most likely had gone over there. And then while the mother was asleep, because she didn't probably get up till 9, but I was really confused what time she actually did get up. I think was under the impression that something had happened in that apartment and something had happened between Stephan and Madeline. And he had to dispose of her items and he had to go get rid of her and he had to go back and he had to be the intimidating one the entire time Jennifer gave the interviews.
Mhm.
Knowing now a little bit more of some of the roundabout information that may or may not be confirmed, but getting a bigger picture plus other things I know,
Mhm.
seems like allegedly Madeline had told some friends. Madeline had told her mother. Her mother did not believe her. Madeline is 13 years old. And
Continue.
most likely, probably her mother confronted her about something. Or You know, Stephan could have come over really early in the morning because my kids get up at 7 a.m. to get up for school. What if she walked in on them and didn't realize it was her daughter and thought it was another woman? Like, who knows? But I think something nefarious happened between the mother and the daughter, and it was a jealousy issue because
Okay.
she's the one that is so inconsistent.
Okay, so now that you tell me what you thought last night before you came to the
Oh,
realization,
oh,
now tell me.
the realization was I
Mhm.
just don't understand why he has not been charged with murder. They're not quite sure.
And what
They
makes you believe that?
well,
What makes you think they're not sure? What, or rather, should I say, what do you think they're not sure of, Hollis?
I think they don't know which one of them killed Madeline. And I think if he hasn't been charged with killing Madeline, then that's a pretty red flag that their investigation did not lead them to believe that he was the actual killer right off the bat, which what's what it just looked like, plain and simple. But when he's not charged with murder, when they know they have footage of him driving the deceased child in the vehicle, I mean, even if it's tampering with a corpse, he had something to do with it. I think charges would have been filed by now. But I think they know a lot more than they're telling us, and that's why there's an investigation, and that's why we're not hearing about any charges. And that's why we don't hear from the mother anymore. I think she had to lawyer up quick.
Do you think the lawyer mothered up? I mean, do you think the mother lawyered up? I haven't heard
I
anything
do.
about her lawyering up.
Absolutely, I think the lawyered up. Yeah, the thing that changed my mind it was that there had been way too many days, as much as I followed true crime, that have passed that they did not charge him with murder. They could have easily put together a solid affidavit by now. For some reason, there's a problem. And I think you have to look deeper into it and think that maybe a lot of people are just speculating who the obvious suspect might be, when in reality, it's not the obvious suspect. That is why I think there is a delay in an arrest charge. That is what changed my mind.
Alrighty then. Did the mother's lying? Did finding out that the mother lied so many times in so many different ways with the timeline and between the probable cause affidavit and her sworn written verbal testimony statement, does do the inconsistencies in that, and also the fact that her saying she was awake at 8 o'clock, seeing her daughter get dressed, puts her being awake the morning that she was tragically murdered. Does that change your mind at all? Did that
No,
have
because
any part in it?
well, no, because the whole time she's been saying that story, I always thought that she was covering up for him. I always thought he was intimidating her. That's what I thought. But it got to the point where there have been no arrests made. It didn't make sense to me. And then going back with you today and going over all of these I mean, I had noticed a few of the inconsistencies, but noticing she was basically saying she saw her daughter all morning. She knew what she wore. She knew this and that, but and she left between 8:45 and 9. She went missing when in reality at 8:19 the daughter was deceased in her ex-boyfriend's truck, seen in the apartment complex. And he was seen
Right.
at 7:35 ditching her stuff. So why did she call him over there to give her daughter a ride to school? She called him over there because she needed help with something. She had a problem on her hands. That's what I think.
That's what I think too.
So I think the whole story took a big 360 once we started piecing together piece by piece by piece by piece and realizing that there was a reason there was a delay in charges.
Yes.
And maybe,
Yes.
they could be in on it together. I'm just questioning the mother's innocence in this live tonight.
All right. After everything we've gone over, I'd like to do a poll with you guys real quick because I still don't know how to put them up through StreamYard. But if you guys wouldn't mind, I'd like to do a poll. Can I see a 1 for everyone that thinks the mother likely killed her, and a 2 for everyone that thinks Stephen likely killed her?
I'm voting 1.
Well, type it in. Type it in.
I can't.
Kimchi.
Remember, if I move, I dip out.
Oh,
So
I'll type you a 1 for you.
thank you.
Kimchi, she had said in the probable cause that she had called Stephan over to take and pick up her daughter and take her to school.
If that's true, they'll have cell phone
Yeah, so
data.
that's actually in the actual. It was either the police incident report or the PCA. Regina would know exactly which document she stated that, but that is in the document.
Wait, what is? Say again that, Hollis. Sorry. I was reading
The
a comment.
fact that Kimchi said, who said that she called him over that morning?
Well, she said they both stated that Stephen left his apartment, came over to pick Madeline up to take her to school and drop her off. That's both of their statements. And that's in the sworn written testimony, and it's in the probable cause affidavit.
Yes,
Both.
she did. I do think she said she called him that morning, right, Regina?
Now, whenever we went over the documents anywhere a while ago, it doesn't specifically say in the document she called him that morning. No.
Okay.
But
she
it
did
says
call. It was
but
arranged.
yes, it was arranged. We will say that. It's proven in the documents that it was arranged. Stephen left his home, came over to pick up Madeline from Jennifer's apartment to take her to school, is the story that they both told. However, Stephen was throwing Madeline's laptop and backpack away at 7:30 a.m. and Jennifer stated in her incident report where she reported Madeline missing that she saw Madeline getting dressed at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes.
And in the last press conference, the sheriff says, we believe he moved the body in the early morning.
Absolutely.
So what I'm thinking, if he wasn't there and there'll be the phone record of her calling him to come over, which will give a better time if something did happen, because we know that the backpack was thrown away at 7:35 and that her body was in the car at 8:19 deceased. But we just don't have that time frame of when she was moved, but I really do believe they have video of that, of him moving her body.
I
But
agree
that
with you
doesn't, I mean, I still
100%.
believe the mom is involved. I totally agree with you on all of that.
Exactly, Miss Brazzy. Why would anybody dump their kids' stuff? They wouldn't, is the answer. Especially if they needed it for school that they were supposed to be getting dropped off for, huh? Especially. I mean, that's an odd place to help a kid prepare getting ready for school, putting their stuff in the dumpster. That's an odd place to put it, helping them get ready for school, in my opinion. I mean, I could, be a little slow, but that just doesn't seem like the best idea to me to throw their backpack and their school laptop in the trash when they're getting ready for school.
No, because actually, you know what happens to those Chrome laptops? You got to pay for it if it gets lost. You
Absolutely.
have to pay to get that. The first one's free, But if it gets lost, you have to pay for them to get reissued another one. I will tell you
Hmm.
that.
Oh no, I had to sign an agreement that I would cover the cost of my daughter's if she lost it.
Kimchi, the mother stated that that evening, she herself, Jennifer, was the only one at home alone in the house with Madeline for the evening. So Jennifer and Madeline supposedly were the only ones in the house that night. We've often wondered, did he sleep over? But hearing
Wait,
that,
wait, wait. Hollis, I think you need to rephrase that because it could be confusing to some people. What Hollis means to say is that after the birthday party, Stephen brought her home. He left at some point, had to have, because he had to leave his place to come pick her up for school in the morning. That's all
yeah,
in the documents.
we don't know. We're assuming that when he came to pick up Madeline, that she was already deceased. That's what
Yes.
we're basically assuming.
Yes.
We don't think anything occurred as a ruckus when he came over to pick up Madeline. We think it had already occurred.
Yep.
We don't think
That's
we don't even think he knew what he was walking into, to tell you the truth.
ooh. Ooh. Wouldn't that be something if she called him and was like, because she had that she knew. What if she knew? And this is alleged and speculation. Um, and presumptions ahead. But wouldn't it be something if she had that information about what he had done to her daughter, knew it previously, and she called him after she allegedly did something that caused Madeline to lose her precious life. And then she calls him and says, "Hey, I need you to come pick Madeline up from school and drop her off for me." And then he shows up. Madeline's already passed away, and she's like, "Now you got to help me figure out how to cover this up, or else I'm going to tell the cops everything I know, and you're going to get the blame for her death anyways."
What is true said. What is true said this afternoon, that she probably looked at him and said, "This is all your fault. You deal with it now."
Because I can tell you one absolute conclusion I have come to. Absolute conclusion I have come to. The mother is lying between the probable cause affidavit, between her sworn verbal and written testimony whenever the cop took her report that Madeline was missing, the incident report, and between one interview to the next, her story changes and she lied. Now, we know Stephen lied because Stephen got caught with child stuff he wasn't supposed to have, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he totally lied in his sob story about how sad he was that she was gone, because I don't see any man saying those words and yet doing what he did to that child, as proven to what he did. I mean, I don't know if that's lying or just being sort of like messed up in the head on how you see things.
But we're also forgetting that when he did the factory reset, they were able to see his phone history. So maybe there's messages from the mother to him that could be used as incriminating.
Say that one more time, the end part.
Incriminating. The fact that um when he factory reset his phone, he thought it got rid of everything, right? Well, obviously it didn't. So who's to say that there's not messages from the mother and him fighting about, you need to come take care of this mess. This is on you. Or, previous arguments about the abuse, possibly. I'm just wondering if he has messages that they found between the two of them. That would be odd.
Well, there's something that corroborates both of their stories about him coming over that morning, or else would they even make that statement that he had been home? Because the cops are going to ask, okay, well, did you call him to come over and pick her up for school? So they already know the answer to that question, and they likely know that it was now alive by this point. I mean, if we can deduce this, I know law enforcement can, right?
I would
I would
hope
hope
so.
so. I would certainly hope so.
Jinx.
I mean, you have to look at all different avenues here. You can't just always assume. You can't judge a book by its cover, people. Just saying.
I agree with you, Hollis. I agree with you 100%.
And Astro from Space, I would never let an ex watch my young daughter, because after I break up with an ex, I don't want anything to do with them. But he broke up with her, and she obviously was allowing him to maintain a relationship with her daughter. So I do think she was a jilted lover. I think it was her way to keep him around. I don't think any normal, logical mother would probably ever let an ex take care of her child. But I think this mother was not logical. I think she was really, I think she was a little off. And I think she wanted to keep the relationship going. And if it meant that she had to sacrifice her daughter, she was fine with it.
I'm
Well,
suspecting that same thing now, Hollis. Exactly that same thing.
well, her lack of emotion and her disconnect and her lack of affect doesn't help her cause. It doesn't. There's something missing,
I
and
agree.
I'm gonna say it's like love. I don't see any love for her child. None.
No, and
Nothing.
she's more obsessed with the mother's more obsessed with maintaining the ex-boyfriend in her life than she cares about her own daughter being SA'd.
Well,
She
I
only
mean,
keeps the daughter around because it keeps him around. It's convenient. I don't see
Panel.
him.
Hold on
I
a
don't.
second. Hold on. We got a question from someone. Panel, have a question. Why would he drive around with the deceased body if mom did it? He abused her for 2 years. I think he did it. Mom is covering for him because she is codependent on him.
I'll tell you why. Because when you have to drive a deceased individual from an apartment complex to the school with all the digital footage, you better make sure that that person in the front seat looks like they're alive. You're going to buckle them up. He said, "Oh, she slept on the way there. I've got teenagers. She had a hoodie on. They lean their heads against the window and they look like they're asleep. They're tuning into their earphones." He cannot be seen driving around without her in the vehicle until he gets to the school. I think that's why he had her buckled up in the front seat looking like she was just sleeping, leaning against the passenger side window so that he could look like he's toting a teenage 13-year-old to school. The minute they pulled up into school, I think he undid the seatbelt and made her not be so visible and took his 45-minute drive away out into the tree line and got rid of her. That's why I think he drove around with her in the car, propped up, looking like a live human teenager around town.
I agree. I also think that, um, again, allegedly, that the mom pretty much told him that he needed to clean this mess up because I believe that she did it or could have done it, and it might not have been intentional. It could have been an accident, and they fought, and it got out of hand. Something happened, but I mean, and if she didn't know about the sexual abuse, or she did, excuse me, she did, and she threatened him with, "I'm gonna tell if you don't help me, if you don't clean this up." I mean, that's pretty bad. She kind of had him. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it. But listen, ladies,
I think the reason that Stearns was in the vehicle with the deceased and why no charge, I think they'll definitely charge him with tampering with a corpse, no doubt. I think
And
he'll get that
obstruction of
charge. And
justice and
obstruction of
probably a whole
justice.
bunch of other
Yeah.
charges.
But I don't think he's going to get charged with murder.
Nope, I don't either. Because I don't think they know. Because now the cops are looking at this mother going, this woman lied to us.
That's right.
She wouldn't let us in the house without a search warrant. We
That's
had to
right.
block the front and back exit and get an emergency search warrant to search this woman's house.
That's right.
And she's lost all credibility.
That's right. And who runs off and changes their name and opens up their Facebook account? Why is that your biggest concern, aka Casey Anthony?
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't even realize that until Regina said that earlier. I didn't.
There's so much that came out that I just went, uh-oh, putting the brakes on everything and re-looking at this with a whole new fresh slate all
I
over again.
I feel sorry for Madeline. I really, really do.
Ooh, y'all want to watch something really interesting? Go watch Casey Anthony interview and then watch Jennifer Soto interview. Just do it. It'll blow your
Okay,
mind.
I will later. But listen, ladies, it's late. This is a
Yes, it
long
is.
live,
I was fixing to say.
and I'm tired. And so I'm just gonna say, share a smile, save a life. And with that, I say good night.
Good night, love.
Good night.
Good night.
Seeing a couple of twos, mostly ones. Aw, love you, Crystal. Quitter. No, I'm just kidding.
And I just want to say thanks everyone for being here. And tomorrow, if there's one thing you can do, just put a smile on somebody's face, make somebody laugh, do something kind, because crime is hard to cover. So we got to
It
do
really
good
is.
things. So we have to do good things for our mental health and for our own to feel good. I like to spread joy. So go spread some joy tomorrow.
Exactly. Spread some love today while you're still breathing today because you never know if you're going to wake up in the morning.
Yeah. And you know what I like to say, Regina? That's a wrap.
Well, I was going to ask Char and Sammy real quick because they've been too quiet. Ladies, what do y'all think?
Well, I think the mother did it. I think the mother knew about him, and I think it's pretty much been explained. She was going to exploit him if he didn't help her, and that's what happened. But whether he'll be charged with murder or not, I don't know if I agree. I think that there's a possibility that he could be charged with, because don't they say something like you're associated with who you're associated with, like if you were in the car with somebody and they had resistant
Kimchi,
drugs.
I'm sorry. Once I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is kind of important. Kimchi, in the press conference, the cops have already stated that they believe that Maddie was killed in the apartment. Did they not?
Yeah, they did. They believe the crime scene was in the interior of that exact apartment.
Yep.
They have no other crime scene but the interior of the apartment. The
I
mother's apartment.
believe their exact words were that it took place in Kissimmee.
I think they said in the Kissimmee apartments.
Yep. In the Kissimmee apartments. Okay. So, Sammy, did you want to finish what you were saying, Char, and then we'll go back to Sammy?
No, that's okay. I was pretty much done. Thank you. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And I appreciate everybody who's been here and our wonderful mods.
Thank you, Shar.
Sammy?
Well, in my book, it's anybody's guess who's the who done it. I really feel like there was a whole lot of crap going on, hence the breakup earlier in the year. Um, I think there's a whole lot more that was out on the table for us fighting and bickering and everything else than any of them are ever going to speak to. So there's just no telling exactly what went on. But my message to everyone here today is this: please, please, please go to the link that I had posted and please, please learn how to help. We need to all start learning what is an effective way to start helping these children and stop failing them.
No, not alone. Answer that question. I mean, my daughter's pretty much grown, but no. Yeah, no kidding, Allison, right? I'd lose my mind if I lost my husband. Does anyone else have any comments? Hey, Sarah, good to see you, sweetie.
Well, I'd like to answer Astro from Space's question. How did Maddie get home after the birthday party?
Stephen.
And did Stephen make that video that night? Well, I don't know if Stephan did drive her home from the birthday party or not. I know from a lot of times with child custody, the father, if he's got them for that weekend and he's watching them and having a party, he is responsible for picking them up and he is responsible for dropping them off. So I don't know if her biological father dropped her off that night at home or if Stephan was at the party. And was Stephan at the party that the biological father threw, Regina?
Stephan was at both parties.
Okay, that's what I thought. And you showed me the video of he took of her at the party.
Yep.
So probably Stephan dropped her off, but that would be a guess. I don't really know the answer to that. I was just assuming bio dad if Stephan wasn't. I wasn't thinking Stephan would be there. So I was assuming bio dad probably just drove her home. But I don't know.
Yes.
That's just a guess.
Well, I think that in the own statements that the mother and him have both put out, I think it's very apparent that apparently the mother is saying Stephen did not stay the night there, or else he wouldn't have had to driven over to pick her up to take her to school. The mother said she saw Madeline getting dressed at 8 o'clock in the morning. But we know that's pretty much impossible considering her stuff was being thrown away because she was already deceased by 7:35. Correct? So
It pretty
no
much
matter
seems that
which,
way.
right. Go ahead.
I mean, they never saw her walk out of the apartment, get in the vehicle, and run out and grab
Nobody
her
did.
book back from the dumpster like she was mad or anything. I mean, what happened to her that morning? What
Don't
happened?
know.
What
Don't
happened?
know. And did it happen before or after Stephen showed up? We don't know because there's so many different dates, times, events, and interchangeable parts between their stories. They're both very, very guilty of lying, and I think everyone can see that that's apparent. But which one's lying more? The mother. And if you're a mother with a missing child, why would you lie about anything when they're
Well, who's the
missing?
only one that's yeah? I was gonna say who's the one who's the one that's been talking that is the most inconsistent.
Well,
But they
both
both
of
are
them.
inconsistent. Both of them are
Right.
inconsistent.
Exactly. They're both equally inconsistent and both proven to be liars now in their statements. So it's anybody's game. But I don't think that there have been charges filed because they don't know who ended her life. And that's my final thought on it. And I suspect the mother of being the one, because of the way the timeline plays out, that actually ended up killing her. So it's horrible, and it's becoming all too common, all too far often.
And yes, this is all allegedly, absolutely, until we hear what charges are filed and if any more evidence comes in. I got a bad vibe from Stephan ever since last night. Now I'm getting bad vibe from the mom. I don't, you know, things aren't adding up on either side. Did they do
I
it
agree
together? Was
completely.
it one? Was it the other? Bottom line is, both of them know something, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
Both of them know exactly what happened, in my opinion, at this point.
Yep. Yep, I agree.
So if your abuser, well, I just don't see her being scared of him. I don't see her being intimidated by her ex-boyfriend. I did not get that vibe after I found out more today.
Me either. I didn't get the vibe she was being abused. I got the vibe she was actually running the show.
Me
But
too.
with that being said, you guys, we've been here for 3.5 hours again, and I don't know how time gets away other than we are just women that love to talk about crime. And try to piece it together. I think we got a little detective in us. Ooh, no, I don't even want to say that. Anyways, we got a little, what's the word for it? Not detective. Investigative journalist. Hollis, was that what you said? We got a little investigative journalist.
Yeah. Like to drive me bonkers today with all this.
So the last part of this was all allegedly. However, we did break down facts with the timeline. And if you guys want to go back and look at that, it is in this report. I mean, it's in this video along with files and all kinds of fun little stuff you can pause on and check out for yourself. I just want to take the time to say Kimchi and Midwest and Low 12 and Tamara and the Afro from Space and Nana's Dragonfly. And we had Jasanki in here, Jason, Jason KY1 in here from or K from Jason from Kentucky 1 is what his name means, but he'll always be Jasunky.
Jasunky.
Allison, yes, thank you for joining us. Miss Brazzy.
Vesper
Who else we got?
Martini.
Martini. Thank you so
You,
much. Thank you so much.
I have heard that her biological father lives in Texas, but I can't confirm it. I have heard that though.
Kenyo Nurse, thank you for joining us. Well, Lat, I see you. Thanks for being here tonight. Terry Jones, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Who else am I missing here? Let's see. Terry Jones, I think I already said that, but if I didn't, thank you so much for joining us. I've been reading y'all's comments all night, so I'm just trying to catch everyone that I missed, maybe. Kel, yay! Love you,
Nana's
Kel. Thank you for joining
Dragonfly.
us. Nana's
TF20.
Dragonfly, how could I ever miss? Sorry, Hollis, go
TF20.
ahead. You want to take over?
Nope. TF20. Hello. And actually, I would love to say hello to Wallet, by the way.
And we had Augusta. I don't even want to try pronouncing that last name, but Augusta was in here. Thank you for joining us. And I agree, something in the mom's eyes is very evil. Paige, thank you for being here tonight. Always good to see you guys. Y'all give a shout out to the lovely mods who work so hard to keep this channel clean and free in the chat to where people aren't harassing or calling each other names and keep this place friendly. I appreciate my lovely mods so much. They work really hard behind the scenes, you guys. So shout out to the mods and thank you for everyone joining us tonight. If you would be so kind as to hit that like and subscribe before you leave, it would be so much appreciated. And be sure and turn on your notifications if you've learned anything or would like to join us again whenever we go live. Just turn your notifications on and ring that bell. Hollis, would you like to say anything else? Sammy, Char, y'all got anything?
I'm good. Thank you all for being
I'm
here.
good. I'm real good. Thank you.
And that's a wrap, Regina. It's yours. Take it away.
Bye, ladies. Love you. Bye, Sammy. Love you. Oh, bye, Hollis. Love you.
Bye,
Bye,
Regina. I love you
Char.
too.
Bye,
Bye,
Char. Love
honey.
you.
Love you.
All right, you guys. Remember to lock your doors and always be kind to one another because you never know when the smallest amount of kindness can save a life. It can be the difference. Just one smile, one act of kindness can be the difference in bringing light into someone's life. It can be the difference in life and death, and a simple act of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves. Very much so, always blessings to you and your family. And with that said, good night.